Hello, hello. Welcome to Audio Addiction. It is your boy Brandon. Tonight we're doing the thing. Big salutes to Biscuit for getting 100,000 channel points. If you watch on Twitch, you can also get 100,000 channel points and do your favorite group as a deep dive if we haven't already covered them already, or maybe we have. I don't know. It'd be very sick. But we are covering Monsta X. Big dubs to Biscuit. Salutes. Is no easy feat to get 100K. So I feel very good about it. So I'm stoked. I don't know how many parts we're doing. Biscuit gave me 2 parts, but I don't know if we are doing their solo material. So when Biscuit comes through, I'll have to see. But I only have 2 playlists right now. So we will probably be doing that today and also on Wednesday. So if you're hanging out on Twitch, you're here. And that's awesome. Biscuit, hello. Thank you. I just gave you a lot of salutes. But yeah. And if you're new here, there's always a link to the Discord at the top. That is normally where I post almost all of the goings on about the channel. So come through. We have a bunch of lovely people in Discord. I can say that because I believe it's true. So please come hang out. That's also how you know about whatever we're covering, because I feel like YouTube I don't cover it as much or as often. I just post the videos. So if you could do that, that'd be sick. But yeah, and Patreon gets it first. So just saying, those are all my plugs for tonight. So, but very stoked. Gunky, hello. Sarah, hello. 100K, that's nothing. I mean, for you, you've climbed the mountain twice now, I think. So I'm not surprised. Very nice, very nice. And Sarah's climbed it once, so I'm pretty sure Sarah's got to be about halfway at this point. Visit says, hello, Monsta. Hey, let's go. There are a few solos in the second half. Okay, well, if you need to cover more, that's up to your discretion. I'll be glad to carve out maybe the following Wednesday. So, their discography is huge. This was very hard. I can imagine. Connie, hello. Hello. Kala, hello. Connie says, I'm so excited. I love Monsta X. They're in my top 5 favorite groups. Wow. Okay. And Sarah's almost there. Oh my God. How do you guys do it? What is this Crunchyroll? I have no idea. I mean, hey, whatever. If you have Crunchyroll, salutes. Jazz, hello. I was going to say Sarah's got to be close. So maybe later to take a break. Hey, listen, this is your deep dive, Biscuit. I am only a passenger to this. Also, Diz, thanks for hanging out. I don't know what time it is for you, so but yeah, very excited. Biscuit was sick and created a very cool Word document, which, listen, gotta get the plugs out there. I have to respect the people that crafted up a whole document and all that stuff. That is like insane to me. So big salutes to you if you did that. That's amazing. I don't think I could have sat. I can only imagine sitting there and doing something like that. That's wild. But Diz says it's telling me to sub or GIF while you're live. Any category for Crunchyroll drops. Hey, let's go. Shout outs. Thank you for the sub, Diz. Appreciate it. I tried to pull a Kaylee and Sarah. Hey, I had like maybe 5 minutes to look at it before this point, and I was like, damn, this is a lot of effort. So I respect, you know what I mean? Game respects game, you know? So, speaking about the Word document, I'm going to read it off real quick. We've got, Biscuit says, I'm very excited to introduce you to my alt group, Monsta X. Not everyone will feel the same, of course, but they're an extremely rare group for me. One of the only artists where I like, if not love, the vast majority of their discography. Oh, wow. Okay. There are only a few songs I don't listen to often, and even then I wouldn't say I dislike them. I love their approach to production, such as often layered harmonies. Ooh, okay. Distinct textures, timbre of their members' vocals, very nice, and often the depths of their sound design where even years later. Okay, okay. I sometimes catch new details. Monsta X are often recognized for their high intensity title tracks, but at their core, their sound blends are. Oh, I was gonna. I read R&B and then I saw EDM and I was gonna mash them together, but it's EDM, R&B, hip hop, pop, and rock. Though they also explore many genres. They are also said to create a genre of their own due to how they have a talent for pulling from or exploring many styles and fusing them into the Monsta X genre. Ooh, okay, okay. I'm excited. I'm excited. They're very respected and well liked in the industry. If I may say, role models for many younger idols. That's good to hear. Also, they're absolutely hilarious. Group dynamic is like a sitcom. Okay, I can vibe with that. I love that. Last week they celebrated a huge milestone of their 10th anniversary. Kudos, Monsta X. We love to see it. So this timing is great. They have said that they are back to regular programming now. The most are finished with military with fan cons in the summer and come back on the way. Ooh, okay, okay. And then I feel like I gotta share this because Biscuit did a great job, and I gotta pull it up. So this is so cool. I saw this and I was just like, damn, this is impressive. So Biscuit created a whole little thing about the groups. Mon BB, I like that. I like that. I probably could have done this before and then dragged it over, but I felt like it would have been a little nuts. But a bit of an unconventional playlist because we're starting with some dance and stages. They're especially later MVs are essential too essential, but their performance and choreographies are amazing. So I tried to include a bit of those too where I could. I also tried to show a bit of a different style of producer line. Ooh, okay. With versatile, while versatile, they have distinct colors most of the time. According to MX, it sounds lonely. It's IM track. Hyungwon was a sophisticated feel. Excuse me, I can't even speak tonight. Jihuni's songs have a purity and sincerity in the emotion to it. In my opinion, Wonho tracks are usually sentimental, sometimes melancholic. There are a few subunits and solo songs too. There are so many fandom favorites, a lot of my favorites not included because otherwise it'd be way too long, and they are one of the most prolific groups in 2021 alone. For example, they released 4 albums. Oh my god. That is that's crazy. I respect that. All right, cool. Well, speaking about playlists, I'm dragging it over here. So, let's see what we got. I want to see what I missed out on here. Um, this is a sorry if there are any mistakes I made this weekend. Was hectic for some was last minute. Welcome to when my special interests Monsta X and executive dysfunction collide. I listen, anybody who takes the time to do that, I feel like is an impressive amount of skill there too. So I love to see it. Do well mashing songs together, so that's accurate. Very nice, very nice. I'll have to check. We are going to check out Monsta X tonight. Gunky says I've heard some great songs from Monsta X, but didn't know a lot of their songs. Ah, very fun, very fun. Just says have fun. Congrats, Biscuit. I'm indeed retiring for tonight, as is 1 a.m. Good night, my loves. It is. Appreciate the sub. Thanks for hanging. Get some sleep. Jazz says, nice job. Gungi says, it's nice how we each bring our unique flair to our deep dives. I was going to say, I love that. If anything, I respect you more now for it. So, Biscuit says, Mon baby is just French for my baby. Oh, that's cute. I like that. I like that. Jazz says, love Monsta X. So excited for this. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, speak of playlist, we are starting off with Trespass. We are then going to follow that up with Rush, the rock version. Ooh, okay. Then we are doing Hero, it looks like, next. All In. It looks like this is a special clip for Stuck, which is cool. We have Fighter, White Love. Let's see what else. Beautiful. Shine Forever, Newton, Drama Rama, Jealousy, Lost in a Dream, which is a live stage. Love to see it. If Only, Shootout, Mohae. It looks like Alligator, Breathe for You. Who Do You Love featuring French Montana. What a what a collab. And the last one is You Problem, the Dreaming Movie. Okay. Very interesting. Seems like an eclectic part one, and we love to see it. So, Biscuit says there are little snippets about each song in the doc too. Okay. So, very, very nice. Speaking about Trespass, the first one I talked about, this is their debut title, which they almost got their first win. This is the dance practice. Ooh, okay, okay. I put the English at the end. Hopefully they don't get blocked. We fingers crossed. If you are on Patreon, that will not get blocked. But if you're on YouTube, I'm sorry. I did what I could. So let's get into Trespass first. Okay.
네가 너무 헤매서 내가 왔어. Hey, 거기 시시한 애들 지워봐봐. 여기저기 어질러. 시작이 좀 거칠어. 이걸 멈추라 할 수 있나? 잘 구경해. 나 어떻게서 네 맘을 다 어지럽혀 놓는지. 어디부터 어디까지 다 내가 손을 보는지. 내 눈에 네 주변 다 엉망이야. 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐. 이걸 범죄라 했어. Knock knock 다 들어갑니다. 깜짝 놀랄게 분명합니다. 들어가 확확 들어가 확확 이걸 싫다 할 수 있나. 낙낙 다 들어갑니다. 너 완전 심쿵하게 분명합니다. 들어가 확확 들어가 확확 이걸 범죄할 수 있나. 난 다른 저기 예쁘장한 애들과는 달라. 실례합니다. Excuse my charisma. 네 맘에 물에 좀 들어갈게. 내 사랑의 K를 좀 몰라. Excuse my charisma. Young and bad 익숙해져 주한. Monsta X boys on the way. 네 쳐들어간다 맘 탄속해라. Get out the way 다 감독해봐. 소문이 멀리 퍼지게 날 마음대로 욕하게. 내 이름에 꼬리표에 너라는 이름 달리게. 이게 내 시작하는 방식이야. 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐. 이걸 범죄라.
That synthesizer is wild.
다 들어갑니다. 깜짝 놀랄게 분명합니다. 들어가 확확 들어가 확확 이걸 싫다 할 수 있나. 낙낙 다 들어갑니다. 너 완전 심쿵하게 분명합니다. 들어가 확확 들어가 확확 이걸 범죄라 할 수 있나. 길을 너를 위한 시작이야. 그냥 두고 봐 나는 그냥
Sick bridge. All right.
좀 그만 헤맬 때도 됐다고 봐. 네 주변 자식들 난 다 됐다고 봐. 너 여는데 열쇠는 필요 없어. 그냥 몸 부수지. 일당이니 썸이니 위치지 끌어 굳이 네 맘에 들어가는 잔뜩 거질러 놔. 좀 봐봐봐 내가 여기 무슨 짓 저질러 놔. 성에 차겠어 내가.
That choreo is sick. Alright.
Who's hot and who's not.
All right, very sick. This was a good one to start off with. This is Monsta X, Trespass. You're hanging out for part one. Again, massive kudos to Biscuit for getting the 100K channel points. Very sick, very sick. I have a little bit of familiarity with Monsta X because I've listened to a couple B-sides, I've listened to some covers, but I really haven't listened to any of their title tracks, obviously, for, you know, sentiment purposes, obviously, to keep the deep dive flowing here. But I thought this was great. This is like, I think this one holds up very well. Considering it was, I would say, roughly about 10 years ago, since they just celebrated their 10th anniversary. Um, this was so good. I really love the energy of it. Um, I can imagine. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny since I've never seen I've never seen Monsta X perform. My partner was gonna see Jahuni, but he wind up like rescheduling, and she was upset about that. So I feel like Jahuni's her bias if I can remember her biases correctly. But I can understand why Monsta X is like one of those groups that I feel like just has a little bit of a timelessness. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was. I'll have to ask her, and I'll message y'all on Discord. But I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was, if I'm not mistaken. Sonja just said hello. Hello, Sonja. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you watching. Um, but I feel like this one's just a great. I feel like this is such a great energy to it. I just really love that. Again, you start off with a bang, and I feel like I'm excited to get into the rest of their title tracks. At least I've listened to a little bit of their discography, maybe just like a little sprinkle, but I felt like this one just had fantastic energy. I also noticed something in that first go around that I didn't really get at first, but then once we got to the second chorus, I noticed it more. But I love that they had obviously the main rappers of Monsta X. I love that they kind of are like the hype men pieces in like the chorus section, and then was followed up with like these really beautiful harmonies and overtones that I really liked. And I just think that the dynamic difference between like you get these really beautiful like harmony sections and you get this like aggressive kind of rapping sense from like I am and Jahuni. I thought it was really cool, and I love that contrast. I hope that they utilize that more. I imagine they will. But I really enjoyed that. That stood out a lot to me. I also really loved the bridge section of the song. I thought it was such a great divergent part of the song that I feel like gives you like this really beautiful section of like, again, as Biscuit mentioned before, like that kind of little bit of like soul R&B flavor to it. And I believe it was Connie who pointed out that it was Shonu. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Which he's incredible. I'll have to be keeping an eye out. He might be up there. I have listened to a lot of Kian stuff just from, obviously listening to covers and seeing B-sides and stuff, and I know he's incredible. So I feel like it's going to be a toss-up between like Shonu and Kian, at least for me vocally. Just because I love Kian's vocals in his like solo material, some of like the B-side stuff we listened to, but man, Shonu is just it was a good wake up call for me. But I also really enjoyed the rapping of this. I'm almost positive Jahuni's the one with the red hat in the back here. So that was easier for me to differentiate the two. But man, I Am was great too. I really enjoyed him a lot. Like I said, I haven't listened to his material, I don't think, out of the B-sides that I've gotten from Monsta X. So I was curious how they were all going to come together, and I feel like they're such a tight-knit group. So I feel like this would chef's kiss. I hope they still perform this, because this popped off. I love that one choreo section where they're like laying on the backs of like the person. I thought that was a really sick choreography moment. But yeah, this was great. I feel the energy. So I love it. Let's see what we got. Biscuit says yes to contrast. It feels I feel like it's one of their signatures. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to be really tuning in for that. Connie says yeah, he's a great vocalist, very smooth voice. I agree. Shonu's voice is so velvety and he's an amazing dancer. I was gonna say they're all really fantastic dancers as well. So Jazz followed up and said he's so good. And Biscuit says, I don't think we've heard any IM tracks. Ooh, okay. And Biscuit did confirm that they still perform this live sometimes. I feel like this one's just like an OG classic, So That's awesome. Biscuit says he was a backup dancer before debut. Okay. That would check. That would check. So very nice. Very nice. Again, fantastic start. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Rush. Biscuit says the title of the second mini album. This is the rock performance version, which I feel many prefer. Oh, okay. There's also a rock version of Trespass, also the superior version. I didn't say that. I want to preface Biscuit said that. But I was tempted to put it to, but didn't. Ooh, okay. I respect that. I respect that. And Connie says he almost debuted and got 7. Oh wow. Okay, that would have been That would have been nuts. Kind of yeah. Trio JB Jin Yun. Wow. Okay. I think many Mono Bebe would agree. Okay, well, if you are, let us know in the comments. But all right, let's get into Rush, the rock version.
Okay, start. Let's go. 내게와 신속히 갑자기 beat on the shit. 내게와 신속히 쟤네는 싱겁지. 내게와 신속히 갑자기 beat on the shit. 내게와 신속히 쟤네는 싱겁지. Yeah, 저기 black baby on the true 걸 신속하게 내게 올라타. 지금 blow 걸 차려 blow 차. 바지 콜라 뿜으면 걸 너 너무 예뻐. 갑자기 error you are crazy virus. 털고 싶은 머리 옆에 무릎 박아지. 드디어 내게 소리가 들려 작아. 네가 머리를 부르게. 위험해. 내가 미친 날 어떡해. 어떡해. 1분이 1초 같아. 너무 급해 난 돌것 같아. 여유 부리는 남자들 전부 돌인 것 같아. 너무 원하고 있잖아. 나쁜 없어지길 바라. 좋다는 남자 다 너를 감봐. 나는 너만 봐. 머리 쓰지 말고 맘대로 가. 고민하지 말고 나대로 가. 절감과 make up
Ooh. All right.
내게와 신속히 내게와 신속히 내게와 신속히 I got a phone call 도대체 몇 명의 남자들이 너의 폰이라 절대 방해이니 다른 남자들의 자리를 마련해 지금 먹고 너 같은 빙그른 논자리 재미없지 감동 없지 싱거워 너네들은 하나같이 강이 많이 안 되죠 소금 진하게 쳐줄게 가서 찾아 무서워 짜져 이제 가스에는 두려워도 네가 다 니를 꼴대 위험해 내게 딱지를 맞을 때 어떡해 100번을 찍어야 할 것 같아 가만 보는 애들은 모르는 스타일 여유 부리는 남자들 전부 돌인 것 같아 너는 원하고 있잖아 나쁜 없어지길 바라 다른 남자 다 너를 감봐 나는 너만 봐 머리 쓰지 말고 맘대로 가 고민하지 말고 나대로 가 절감과 내고 내게와 신속히
The energy level on this is sick.
내게와 신속히 내게와 신속히 내게와 신속히 우리 사이 조짐을 지워 내게와 시속하게 지금 남자들이 전부 나를 질투하게 해줘 지루한 재미 없을 거야 내게와 신속히 갑자기 be on this 내게와 신속히 갑자기 be on this 내게와 신속히 쟤네는 싱겁지 that's why 내게와 신속히 갑자기 be on this 내게와 신속히 쟤네는 싱겁지
Hey. All right. This was Monsta X Rush, the rock version. If you're hanging out, thank you for hanging. this was so good. I enjoyed this one a lot. This would have been. I agree with Gunky's sentiment. This would definitely be a fun concert to be at. I was gonna say, I would agree. They know how to do the crowd engagement. You know what I mean? Not to say that 99.9% of groups don't know how to do the fan/crowd engagement. I feel like if you're an artist, I feel like you gotta have that level of engagement with your fan base. But man, this was so good. I definitely want to listen to both Rush in studio rock version if they have a studio rock version, and I'll definitely have to listen to the OG version because I feel like I love the comparison. I love a good rock version. Y'all know me well. I feel like Biscuit knows me well at this point as well too. Um, but I love to kind of compare it to like the original piece and like see how if it does differentiate or like like I'm such a again probably why I do this in the first place is I get super nerdy about the way music is written and stuff. So I would be curious to see how all the different musical liberties that they're taking in terms of a rock version. But this is so much fun. I like I said, I think that the crowd engagement on another level was so good. And I feel like you could just tell, like even watching like a video, I was just like, damn, I was like, if I was in the crowd, I'd be hype as shit, like I'd be feeling the vibes, having a good time, and I feel like Monsta X would be taking me on a journey certainly. But um, I like this for the sheer fact that like obviously you can hear them all individually and like they're just having a good time. Like this doesn't seem like an overly performative song, like it isn't like they're doing like these crazy like runs or they're not going out there. But I love to see just kind of the performative aspect of it and like you can just tell their personalities shine a lot through and in especially a live performance. I feel like more so than anything else. So you love to see it. I also noticed, and I don't know if this is maybe just something that will help me out, hopefully, I think that Juhuni so far he's 2 for 2 in wearing hats, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like I could probably point out Juhuni if if he continues to wear hats in performances and videos. Um, so I feel like that aspect of it I'll get a good kick out of. Um, but yeah, this was a very cool kind of like personal touch. Like I didn't take this at like I'm writing down the mental notes in my head about like, oh well, this doesn't sound right or like whatever. It just you could tell the vibes were there. It was a good feeling. Like the crowd seems like they were heavily enjoying the song as well too. So, I imagine there are songs in their catalog that I'm just like will blow me out of the water certainly. Um, so I'm not really surprised by that by any stretch. But yeah, this is very fun. I enjoyed this very much, and I feel like I appreciate Biscuit for including the live versions because I like a good bit of variety. So that's always fun. Um, Biscuit says, yeah, definitely. I prefer the rock performance versions, but I like the OGs a lot too. Okay, very nice. Sanjay says, with this song though, the live performance is the way to go. Ooh, okay. I would definitely agree with that. Um, Biscuit says this is one from their early Japanese concerts. Oh wow, okay. And Jazz says, they were my first ever concert. I still remember the energy being off the charts. Oh wow, that's actually that's so fucking sick. That's actually really cool. So, um, very nice, very nice. And Biscuit says that's why I tried to include some lives. I do appreciate that. But yeah, I thought this was really good. I definitely feel like I have a little bit less commentary to give just because I haven't heard the original, but I feel like it's a good basis point. So I'll have to listen to the original and I'll have to come back to this one and give the consensus. So very nice. The next one on the playlist we have is Hero, a B-side from the Rush album, and one of their most famous songs. You've seen the original before, so this is the dance practice and broadcasting version, which is more dubstepy and the one they normally perform. Wow, okay. That's interesting. I always find that really unique when artists perform a song of theirs a little bit differently live. Like I feel like that's you know, that's like the live treat. You know what I mean? Like you get to see them perform a song in a like just a little bit of a different way that isn't from the album, you know? So I respect that. That's a power move. So definitely dope. But let's get into Hero then. Check it out.
Y'all know what it is, man. Monsta X is on business right here. X. What? Okay, man. Let's go. 하루 종일 널 지켜보면서 발견한 유일한 문제점, yeah. 너를 귀찮게 만드는 가식뿐인 늑대 같은 남자들은 아니야. 난 내 건데 내가 지켜야 하는 뭐가 있는지, yeah. 누가 널 절대 넌 볼 수 없게 내가 지켜줄게. 넌 너무나 아름다워서 난 저기 많아 마치 공주를 지킨 느낌 같아.
Ooh. A little bit of rock in the pre-chorus. Nice. Their movement is so clean. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, I can be your hero. 악당들은 뒤로 나쁜 것도 보대기에 싸맨 다음에 트럭이 싫어.
Very textured. I like this.
동물원에 버려 전부 말들이 많아 널 가지러 뱉어대는 게 소리 what 만만하게 날 봤다만 벗어먹고 그게 다라. 바지 위에 팬티를 입고 막 소리 다래. 수트도 가끔 입고 가슴에서 빛이 나 우리가 빛이 나 다들 고개를 봐. 마지막 경고할게 화나면 난리 나 나무 속에 변해. 누가 널 절대 넌 볼 수 없게 내가 지켜줄게. 넌 너무나 아름다워서 난 저기 많아 마치 공주를 지킨 느낌 같아. 걱정하지만 난 너만의 남자. I can be a hero. 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 I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man. 난 너의 악당들을 모두 하나같이 하늘을 슈 그냥 막 하늘을 날아다녀 슈퍼맨. 너의 꼬리 위에 매달려 웃음 짓게 만들어 내게 뱉네. 널 울게 만드는 그 어떤 악당들이 이제는 싹 다 꺼지라 할게요.
Woo! All right, let's go, Junie.
I can be a hero. I can be a hero. I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man. I can be a hero. I can be your man.
Very nice. All right, this was Monsta X Hero. You're hanging out. Thanks for hanging. This was phenomenal. I do remember listening to this, like the OG version, and I do like that as well. I would like to preface, I do like the original, but I feel like I might be in agreement. I think this version is, and no offense to big Monsta X fans, I feel like this one is a little bit more superior. I felt like the fluctuations in the song really kind of drive you in a little bit more. Like the different arrangements of the song, I think were just really more intense. So I feel like maybe that's why it stands out to me a little bit more. But man, this was so much fun. I really love that chorus. I feel like chorus is gonna be baked into my head now. Love the choreography as well. That was really incredible. I feel like they're like, I think I had mentioned it in this song, just the smoothness of how they um move, I think is just really impressive to me. Just like the effortlessness, like they're just so mechanical in that way, but just so much fun. Really enjoyed them performing this. I also really liked that like rock kind of pre-chorus. I don't remember it being in the OG version of Hero, but I feel like it just adds that little bit of extra flair that I appreciate. And the dubstep sections remind me of my days when I used to listen to like the first couple Skrillex albums, and I was really into dubstep for like a short period of my life. Um, but I remember that so vividly, and I feel like this song definitely might play a little bit more towards my nostalgia, which is not a bad thing. I love delving into this nostalgia roots that I have. But I felt like this one definitely reminded me a lot of my old like Skrillex days and stuff. So or like Dead Mouse, stuff like that. So really love that a lot. But again, shout outs to like the musicality of this. I think they did a great job of differentiating it. And then as well as that the choreography, I feel like obviously you could not look at the choreography and be amazed. So I feel like this one's the full package. So I appreciate that. So Sondra says you can really appreciate the choreo here. I would 1000% agree with you. And Biscuit says I usually love dubstep, so for me, I do like it a bit more too. And I feel like there are a lot of rock styling in their music. I was gonna say even some of their B-side stuff that I've listened to before, I feel like they really delve into that like their rock sensibility, and I think maybe that probably is why I've enjoyed a lot of the Monsta X stuff. Is just like their way of kind of combining these different genres that I don't want to say that it wouldn't work, but just like I feel like they're so convincing in the way that they stylize it that you're just like, you know what? I feel like that's gonna work. And if it's a Monsta X song, like I feel like they do a great job of representing that sort of side of them. So, really great. I also got to give a shout outs to Jahuni. I feel like he's gonna be stand out to me at least from the rapping side, but I mean I am's also great too, so I feel like I don't want to I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but it's been good. I genuinely don't know if I have a favorite member right now, but I feel like those are kind of I remember not being, and maybe it's me calling myself out just a smidge, but I remember not being as big a fan of Jahuni's solo stuff, but I do like him in Monsta X now. Now that I'm like notating it, but I'll have to give it more of a listen. Maybe I was just too like non K-pop brained at the moment when we listened to it because it was pretty earlier on in time, but maybe my thoughts have changed on that on the Jahuni song that we listened to. So Connie says, can't believe it's already 10 years since I got into K-pop because of Monsta X. Wow. Holy shit. That is awesome. And Biscuit says, I know it's crazy to think how long they've been a part of my life. Oh, that's awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Um, all right. And Biscuit says, unfortunately, they weren't able to fully capitalize on song success in 2015. Two members were somewhat seriously injured around this time, required surgery. Holy shit. Starship essentially put the whole group on a soft hiatus for many months with little communication to fans. This caused half of the fandom they had built by that time to leave. Holy shit. The entire situation is pretty traumatizing for them and caused them to become workaholics for many years after. Oof. That's so tough. Like I know I've talked about a little bit in terms of like the grueling nature that I feel like K groups collectively go through. I feel like a lot of like that sort of stuff is just a little bit more outrageous to me. I'm just purely shocked. And I feel like it's not necessarily shocked as like I don't believe it. I think it's just shocked that like people have to work in those types of conditions in order to like get to the stardom that they get to, you know? It's just like it's just unfortunate, you know? Cuz I feel like music to me has always been like this healing aspect of my life. So I feel like for someone to literally be working their bones off to make music for an audience, I feel like is so nuts. So I'm glad that they have been well received. So Biscuit says, yeah, it really affected them mentally. They were so scared to take a break for years. I mean, I feel like that's such a, I feel like it's such a dispositionate like place to be. You know what I mean? Like you're always behind the eight ball, and I think to me like one of the reasons, if not probably the majority of the reason why I decided to do these in the first place was, like I didn't have the knowledge of K-pop, and I still don't. I mean, I would like to say that I have more now, but there's so many groups out there that I feel like are so talented and some that are yet to be discovered. And I feel like to me, it's always like important to be able to share the types of artists that you like, because you never know how long they're going to be around for, and for them to celebrate like a 10-year anniversary, I feel like that is a very high compliment as someone who is almost at their 10-year anniversary doing something. I feel like I can resonate with their struggles a lot more than I feel like than I probably would with maybe any other group, just because I've been doing it for such a long time. So I respect the dedication. It's impressive. So Gungi says, one thing I don't like about K-pop is how quickly fans move on if they are not consistently bombarded with content. I big agree. That is a slippery slope of being an artist, I think. So K-pop reminds me of working at my previous job at GameStop in the sense of what you have done for me lately. That fair. Yeah, I feel that. Sunja says it's the artist mentality of losing relevancy is also, it seems exacerbated in K-pop. I would 1000% agree with that. The work ethic is so intense, which is why they're so great. I was going to say I agree. I feel like for them to defeat that and continue on with such dedication, I feel like that, I think it's something to be not only I feel like supportive of, but I feel like if anything, it's something to be admirable of, so I all my respect to Monsta X, certainly. So Biscuit says your dedication is also impressive. Thank you, Biscuit. I appreciate it. I am just a man that talks on the internet about music, so I feel like if we're comparing levels here, I feel like Monsta X is through the roof here, and I'm like, I'm doing it. So I wouldn't put myself in the same category, but I appreciate the sentiment. So but speaking of Monsta X songs, the next one is number 4 on this playlist, is All In. Very poignant time. This is from their 3rd mini album. This is the MV, is the start of their first storyline in lore. Oh wow, okay. First, because they seem to have wrapped up this one and then moved on to another storyline, though some fans think they are all connected. Oh, okay, lore. We're getting into some lore. I'm surprised. So let's check out the first one, which is All In. All right.
되는 겁니까 그만 지킬 수 있습니까 그만 몇 번은 쓰러지고 다쳐 항복 받아내면 되는 겁니까 So yes sir 뉴스의 경례 너란 이름에 맹세를 해 장난 아니지 너 목숨 걸어 지켜줄게 목숨 걸어 너의 모든 게 다 perfect perfect 다른 여자들은 no thanks no
Great pre-chorus.
나를 놓친 너만을 원해 내 모든 걸 다 all in 너를 가질 수 있다면 난 뭐든지 다 해 난 너에게만 all in 거짓말이 아니야 지금부터 나는 너에게 나의 내가 좀 무섭게 생겼어 the girl 어려운 말은 너의 말이면 다 들어 girl 내 표현이 좀 많이 서툴었어 주헌 내게 내 자신의 모든 걸 걸어 모든 게 다 난 완벽하니까 난 네가 필요해 난 너만 있으면 돼 기대해봐 넌 내 여자니까 그 자리에서 기다려 내 모든 걸 다 all 너를 가질 수 있다면 넌 뭐든지 다 해 난 너에게만 원해 거짓말이 아니야 지금부터 나는 너에게 나의 모든 것만 다 걸어 내 시간과 돈 다 걸어 나는 너에게만 걸어 지금부터 나는 너에게 내 전부를 다 걸어
Okay.
이제는 내가 널 가져야겠어 내 전부를 다 걸어
Okay.
다 걸어 다 걸어 Oh well oh yeah 난 내게 다 걸어 I'm only what you're saying 내 전부를 다 걸어 Tell me what I got and 나의
Ooh, nice ending.
I'm all in what you're saying 상관해 널 가질래 what I got and 나의 모든 걸다 걸어
Okay. Okay. All right. This was Monsta X All In. If you're hanging out, thanks for hanging. Very nice, very nice. Biscuit said finally an MV. Didn't go too much into lore though. Fair enough, fair enough. Gunky says we're watching an MV this time. Connie says, oh my god, this MV. Actually, the Clan series is my fave. Love those albums. Very interesting. Okay, we'll have to. I'm sure we'll be getting into it. Biscuit says has had fans theorizing for years. That would make sense. Jazz says platinum blonde Minhyuk is a look. I also like to platinum blonde hair. Would agree. Connie says love the way that Jihuni says girl. I didn't notice it first go around, but heard it towards the end. And I was like, I appreciate the emphasis. I like it. Sonja says I'm not familiar with their lore, but I could see how this MV could have fans theorizing. I agree. I also thought it was a cool MV. Biscuit says, I think it said somewhere in the doc, but something is their lore is spread out across things like concert videos, trailers, so I didn't get much into it, but is anyone interested? Let me know, and I'll send a playlist. Ooh, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. I'd be curious to. I'll have to keep an eye out for the ones that are like a little bit more lore based or a little lore heavy. I can comprise words together. So I'll have to see if I can. I'll have to see if I can formulate it. That would be fun. That'd be fun. But this song, I feel like, is very representative of the name. I feel like they went all in with this song, and I would say they did pretty well. I enjoyed this one a lot. I like the kind of more EDM push of this song, and again, it might just be a little bit of the bias speaking, but I really enjoy it. I think it really pairs well, not only I think with the rappers of Monsta X, but I also feel like vocally this is also paired very well. Like it's not like that really like aggressive like EDM sound, but I feel like it is just punchy enough where I feel like you get more of that amplification from the rappers of the group, and then I feel like for more of the melodic like runs and like kind of beautiful layering and harmonies, I feel like that's where you really get to hear a lot of the vocal shine. So I think this song is very complimentary to both ends of Monsta X. I also really enjoyed this from the rapping perspective. I feel like both, again, I am and Jahuni are really, really standing out to me a lot. I feel like oftentimes I do tend to fall in love with a lot of like rappers in the K-pop land of music. And I feel like this is not dissimilar from those thoughts, but I'm curious to see if they do, like, I imagine they probably do some more softer songs. I'm curious if some of the more vocal members of Monsta X stick out to me a little bit more, just because I feel like there are some really phenomenal vocals in the song as well. I don't want to detract from that, but I do feel like this to me like was good rapping. I again really enjoyed Jahuni. I think probably outside of Jahuni's rap section, I really liked that ending chorus. I feel like that was such a cool divergent of those two things, where I feel like you got to hear a lot of those gorgeous vocals, but then on top of that, you got to hear a little bit of that rapping from Jahuni towards the end. And I feel like that contrast is always really fun. And I know Biscuit pointed out earlier that I feel like that is maybe a staple of Monsta X music, but I really like that. I feel like that, to me, if I was listening to a smattering of boy group songs and I feel like something like this came on, I would instantly, I feel like, know which group I'm listening to just based off of that. Not only final chorus, but I feel like the way that their dynamics are, I feel like fits really well to their sound. So really love that. Biscuit says there are soft songs in the B-sides that we'll get to. Ooh, okay. Very nice. We love to see it. So very nice. We are keeping it moving. The next one we have is Stuck, a popular B-side from the same album. So let's check it out. Woo! Okay.
Okay, man. 2016. You ready? Let's go. 알잖아 널 격하게 아낀다는 걸. 잠깐만 눈 감아도 불안하단 걸. 널 볼 땐 숨이 멎을 것만 같아. 어떻게 넌 소름 돋게 예쁜지. 내추럴 네게 끝없는 drop 같다고. 다른 남자가 내 눈엔 전부 악마 같다고. 뭐가 좋다고 넌 내 맑게 웃고 있어. 어떻게 넌 어떻게 해야 돼. 완전히 빠져나. 욕심낼 수밖에 없잖아.
That like little bit of electric guitar in the back. Nice.
단지 너의 모든 게 궁금하잖아. 너 아닌 다른 여자에겐 안 그래. 내 시선 너에게만 고정돼 있는데. 두 눈을 꽉 감아도 네가 보여. 소리 따윈 이젠 다 버려. 진짜 결심해서 정말 오늘부터는 너에게만 집착해. 위험하진 않았어 baby don't worry. 너에게만 집착해. 널 가질 수 있다면 난 뭐든지 할래. 너 없인 아무것도 못할 것 같아. 너 없인 단 하루도 못 살 것 같아. 날 사랑해보려 해. 위험하진 않았어 baby don't worry. 주화해. 빨리 말해 내가 좋은 급한 놈이니까 너의 모든 걸 바래. 그래도 bad 너가 엄지 눈물 뿐인 거네 반해 잘해. 그러들면 싹 다 비켜라 이제부터 쟤내 거니까. 널 어디 못 가게 내 옆에 붙어있어. 난 이제 네 거가 될 거니까. 사랑이고 나발이고 다 필요 없어. 그저 널 개타고 싶어 집착. 다른 여자를 돌로 만들어 안 보여봐면 오가 넌 조각품. I'm losing my mind but you're still fighting. 두고 싶어도 시선 강탈. 숨이 차 곱고란 아니 너 때문에 말이야. 모든 예쁨을 가진 너 걱정될 수밖에 없잖아. 아픈지 오늘 누구를 만났는지. 단지 너의 모든 게 궁금하잖아. 모든 걸 다 잊는 것도 난 각오해. 내 시선 너에게만 고정돼 있는데. 두 눈을 꽉 감아도 네가 보여. 소리 따윈 이젠 다 버려. 진짜 결심해서 정말 오늘부터는 너에게만 집착해. 위험하진 않았어 baby don't worry. 너에게만 집착해. 널 가질 수 있다면 난 뭐든지 할래. 너 없인 아무것도 못할
I like that little bit of stutter. It's so good.
단 하루도 못 살 것 같아. 날 사랑해보려
That was a cool dance break. I like that. Ooh. All right, very cool. I'm actually gonna go back a little bit. I want to see if I can get all of them in a ducks row here. That's about as best as we're gonna get here. All right, cool. This was Monsta X, Stuck. If you're hanging out, I feel like I'm gonna make a controversial statement. I feel like this one could have been their title track in another life. I maybe that might be controversial, maybe not. I don't know, but I feel like to me, this one, not that All In wasn't good. I enjoyed that one a lot, but I feel like again, it makes sense why it's a popular B-side from the same album because I feel like if anything, I don't know if this was on the chopping block for it to be a potential title track, but I feel like to me personally, I would love to hear it. I also really enjoyed Kihyun in this song. I feel like his vocals really stood out a lot more. Obviously, I could mention Jihoon again because he was also fantastic in the song, but I feel like I gotta give Kihyun his flowers. Like, I really love his vocal style, and he just effortlessly weaves through this song, and I really love that. I think this song really is very representative of what he's doing. So I love his vocals in this, and just like that cool transition from like that chest voice to like he's kind of doing like maybe like a lower like head voice or potentially maybe like borderline a little falsetto, but just really loved his vocal styling in this song just so much more. I think it just popped in this song, so I really thought that was great. I also enjoyed Minhyuk's vocals. I thought he was really incredible. I don't feel like I gave him enough love as of recently. I've given obviously Shono a little bit of love and Kihyun just earlier, but man, he was great. I really enjoyed his vocals as well. I was surprised because like I was trying to point out faces, trying to look at my cheat sheet at the top here, just to try to make sure I've named everyone correctly. But yeah, this one great beat. I agree with Sonja. Great beat. The production was really fantastic in this song. Very dynamic. It also had like a really good like stereo like fullness to it that I really liked as well too. That I feel like maybe some of the other songs just haven't quite cracked yet. But I feel like this one was definitely one of those ones that I was like, damn, this one hits. And I love that dance break section. I thought that was super rad. I feel like you don't get that as much in more modern K-pop MVs, so it was cool representation. I love to see it. So, great shit. This was awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. Connie says, love the song. This is up. Biscuit says, this is up there for me for favorites. Wow. Okay. And Biscuit says this undercut Kihyun to changed my life, changed lives and mine. Fair enough. And Connie says, oh my God, this is so nostalgic. I dressed like that when I was young. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I feel like I also dressed like this when I was much younger and into metal music. So I feel this look. This is a look here. So, Connie says Monsta X has some toxic lyrics. I remember thinking, "Oh, this sounds so cute." Then saw the lyrics and I was scared. I'm sure. Biscuit says there are a lot of B-sides that were considered title tracks. That would make sense because this has an MV. So not really surprised. Nero says best aesthetic though. Nothing beats an oversized long sleeve in skinnies to me. In a former life, I remember that. Sandra says, I thought the best. Can I not read tonight? I thought the production was very cool. Great beat, very nice vocals. Biscuit says, I would absolutely love if they perform this again at FanCon. That would be dope. I would have to check that out. I'd be curious if they're. I'm curious again. A group that is in obviously a 10-year anniversary, I feel like they have such a massive discography at this point. So I can only imagine the like painstaking process of trying to pick out not only songs to learn but also to perform again. That's wild. So that's awesome. Gungy says, I love dance breaks and MVs. We need more of them. I was gonna say, I agree. Near says, gang, 33 and I still dress like them. That's, hey, listen, that's respect. If I wasn't hitting the gym hard, I feel like I'd also be dressing like that, but your boy can't fit into those skinny jeans anymore, unfortunately. So, but very nice, very nice. We are keeping it moving. The next one we've got is Fighter. Biscuit says, this is the title from their 4th mini album and a great workout song. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to have to add that. If this is good, I'm going to have to add it to the playlist for sure. So, Biscuit says, my playlist now is over 300 at least. Oh my God. Wild. I love it. So, let's get into Fighter. Let's check it out. Oh, this is live. Even better.
널 위해서면 기꺼이 모든 걸 견딜 수 있어 각오했어 그러니 Just believe 어떻게 날보다 좀 더 난 강해지고 싶어 날 지켜봐 I can make it 난 모든 걸 전부 내려놨어 잃을 게 없는 나야 준비됐어 지금부터 fight for love 점점 달아오는 네 열기는 뜨거워 하는 사람들 중 난 너만 있으면 돼 I'm gonna fight for love yeah 이렇게 간절한 적 태어나 처음이야 난 yeah 쓰러져도 절대로 포기는 못해 너의 이 모양이 나를 일으켜 나의 신의 승리를 가져다 줘 Cause I'm a champion Cause I'm a fighter 소리가 higher 이곳은 fire champion Cause I'm a fighter 소리가 higher
I love how they're all performing the song so differently. Some are sitting, some are getting hyped. I love it.
조금 더 재밌어진 게임 아니 완전 말짱해 난 걱정 마 아직 끄떡 없어져 down 세상을 두 발 앞에 다 가진 기분이야 그 기대를 내게 걸어봐 네 앞에 멋지게 딱 설 테니 하는 사람들 중 난 너만 있으면 돼 I'm gonna fight for love yeah 이렇게 간절한 적 태어나 처음이야 난 yeah 쓰러져도 절대로 포기는 못해 또 쓰러져도 너의 이 모양이 나를 일으켜 나의 신의 승리를 가져다 줘 Cause I'm a champion Yes I'm a champion 누구든 간에 무너뜨릴 수가 있게 Call me a fire 분위기 fire 텐션은 higher 흐르는 땀이 온도는 뜨거워 yeah 너에게 닿았으면 I'm a fighter 발로 가이고 차요 너 위로 나에게 가열된 것이 지않고 달려 두 눈에 붙여 fire 대체 누가 날 말려 상대 의사 필요 없은 자에게 한 방을 날려 I need to wait for the right moment Wait now 이렇게 간절한 적 태어나 처음이야 쓰러져도 절대로 포기는 못해 너의 이 모양이 나를 일으켜 나의 신의 승리를 가져다 줘 Cause I'm a champion I'm a fighter 더 높이 higher 내 안에 fire champion
Woo. All right. Very cool. That was Fighter from Monsta X. I I can see it now. I'm picking up what Biscuit is putting down. I feel like this I feel like this is a great workout song. I'll have to check out the OG version. But I like this a lot. I want to I gotta go back to the video. I gotta preface. I feel like oh wait, sorry. I was gonna pause it. Okay. I feel like to me, uh I gotta okay. First of all, I gotta give a shout out to Juhuni. I love that he is mimicking Kian at the end here. Like, has got up out of his fucking seat and was like singing along as if he's like, as if A, he's not a part of this group, and B, as if he's not a part of this song. I think that is amazing. I love that. I also, I also really love. I feel like Juhuni is that type of person that is like the antithesis of he has that dog in him. You know what I mean? Like I love that. I think it is he's so aggressive in the way that he delivers his lyrics. Thoroughly impressed. You know what I mean? The man gives it his all, and I respect that. But I think for the song itself, I love that it is truly a callback to, like, you can hear like the different musical motifs in this song that I feel like again um is obviously fighter represented. You know, like you can hear like the knockout bells, you can hear like, you know, you can hear fighting elements to this song. You have like an announcer, they had like obviously very boombastic sort of like horns, and like it feels very dynamic, and I think it plays along with not only I think the song and obviously the members of Monsta X, but I also feel like it plays along and plays playfully with the name of fighter. You know, like it takes elements of boxing or just fighting elements in general, whether it be from video games or from, you know, television. I think this has a really great job of melding those two worlds together into like a song format, and I really like that. But I also really love just like how dynamic the song is as a whole. I think it just got like this sort of like really big band, like a little bit rock, a little bit of like pop, you know, sensibility to it. Obviously, I feel like Monsta X obviously has to incorporate that sort of styling into their music, but just like this was just such a treat to watch. So I really love that a lot. In terms of members, I feel like I gotta shout out a lot. Obviously, I really love Kian's vocals. I feel like he obviously popped off. I loved it. I think he's doing great, especially towards the end of the song. But I really liked whoever's behind him. I want to say that is, if I can put names to faces, is that Shonu, or is that Wano? It is Shonu. Okay, good. I got it right. Let's go. I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up. It doesn't look like Shonu if I'm being honest, but I'm like it kind of vocally sounds like Shonu. So really liked his vocals. I again I feel like my Shonu bias might be showing, you know. So I really like that. I also I want to see maybe the white and blue hair is Wano. I'm pretty sure. He was also very solid in the song too. So this was cool. And I noticed that in some of the things that Biscuit has left for me, a lot of them are like the Jahuni, I am, Hyungwon, and Wano were all producers. I'm curious how much credits they have in terms of who stylizes what songs, or if this is like kind of like, you know, one member with like a group of other people that obviously do the production for this song, because this was great. I'm very curious who produced this one, because if it's not outside of the house, you know what I mean, of Monsta X. But this was so much fun, and also to end cap this commentary on the song, I loved the like their live radio performance. I think it came out really good. I was and I was a little genuinely surprised, because I feel like radio stations, when they do types of songs like this, maybe it's just in the US, I don't know, but I feel like they're not always well equipped. So I feel like they did a great job of like being able to measure the EQs and stuff of all the vocals and stuff. It felt very dynamically full, even though they were in a radio station. So kudos to them, and also kudos to whoever was doing the production for that day. That's incredible. Great job. So Um, very nice, very nice. Okay, so I'm 2 for 2. I guess twice. I love it. Um, let's see what we got here. This was a fun radio live. Gungi says this is so much fun. Connie says I was upset with Keon's pink hair. I still need to buy his photo card. Ooh, okay, respect. Sanjay says it has an early 2000 sounds or even late 90s. Oh, okay. I'm picking that up. I'm feeling that. Biscuit says they're all clowns endearingly. I listen, if they're not clowns, I mean, I feel like you got to have the fun. So I respect it. And Biscuit, I assume, is in agreement to what I said about Jehuni being 100%. He's got that dog in him. So I think so. And Kaylee says, hello, I made it. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Biscuit says Jehuni had songs since the first album, but later on did title tracks other than B-sides we'll get into. Ooh, okay. And Sarah says, I'm watching my friend and we both collect lots of photo cards. So any photo card talk, hit me up. That's, I was going to say, I feel like I have maybe 1 or 2 photo cards that I feel like Sarah will kill me for. So, let's see. Biscuit says actually Keon has production credits on the first album song too. Ooh, okay. So that's one. And Kaylee says making dinner, so lurking for now, but listening. Okay. Just curious, no murders. I was gonna say I think it was the I don't know if I still have it up here, but it was the one of Suga. I'm pretty sure it was the one that I got in my like record collection that I showed off, and it's the one where he's eating ramen noodles. So I remember you made a comment about it, and I was like, now I gotta protect it with my life, apparently. So very nice, very nice. All right. We are keeping it moving, except for I was gonna say, except for the new Yoongi. I was gonna say that's that was the one I was thinking of. It's one of the very handful of photo cards that I have. So, Connie says I collect photo cards, but just for every album, my 2 biases and 2 records for whatever I get. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Noodle Yoongi. I'll have to show it off when we close out the stream, so Sarah can kill me again. Very nice, very nice. We are keeping it moving here with the love. Speaking about love, we are listening to the 7th track on this list, which is White Love. Finally able to squeeze in some soft X. That's, hey, kudos, Biscuit. I love that. This is a B-side from the same mini written and composed by Jehuni. Ah, nice. Jehuni most commonly works with Yeo Sound, Laser, and more in the past 9F and Nago. Okay. They perform this a lot at weddings of staff and colleagues. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. That's something I don't think I would have known. So that's adorable. I love it. So we are keeping it moving with White Love. Let's check it out.
나 사실 많이 외로웠어 이상하게 어쩌면 그런 거 말야 나 사실 많이 괴로웠어 이상하게 잠이 잘 오질 않는 그런 거 말야 꿈을 꾸면 네가 생각나 지우려 해도 그게 또 잘 되질 않아 자꾸 너만 보고 싶어지는 내 맘 너가 알았으면 해 하얀 소녀 그대를 사랑해주기 하얀 소녀 I wanna love your heart 하얀 소녀 그대를 예뻐해주기 하얀 소녀 그대는 예쁜 걸 나는 너 더 최선을 구해줘 사랑할 수 있게 또 알아갈 수 있게 하얀 그대의 마음을 만질 수 있게 해줘 날 살게 해줘 곁에 있게 해줘 날 곁에서 숨 쉬어줘 숨 쉬어 yeah. 그대의 마음이 그대의 몸이 yeah. 하얀 눈처럼 그대 내 안에 녹이고 싶어 하얀 소녀 그대를 사랑해주기 하얀 소녀 I wanna love your heart 하얀 소녀 그대 날 예뻐해주기 하얀 소녀 그대는 예쁜 girl 그대여 언제까지 나를 이렇게 내버려 둘 건가요 하얀 소녀여
Love that descending piano run. Nice.
채워주면 돼요 사랑해요 하얀 소녀 그대 날 사랑해주길 하얀 소녀 I wanna love your heart 하얀 소녀 그대 날 예뻐해주길 하얀 소녀 그대는 예쁜 girl 하얀 소녀 그대 날 사랑해주길 하얀 소녀 I love your heart 하얀 소녀 그대 날 예뻐해주길 하얀 소녀 그대는 예쁜 girl 그대는 예쁜 girl
All right, very cool. This was Monsta X, White Love. If you're hanging out, thanks for hanging. Wow, this was a cool little like acoustic ballad type song. You know, I'm about it. I'm about it. I like it. This one threw me some curveballs, and I like that. To me, I love when a song kind of gives me that reflection. You know, gives me time to think about it. But there's a lot of members that stood out to me that I feel like I got to give a love to. Number one, I thought he was really incredible with the song. I know I make this sentiment quite frequently, but I feel like if anything, this means probably the more interesting of the comments I've made. But I was expecting, wasn't expecting him to sing. I thought he was gonna do something similar to what Jehuni did, but I really thought his singing vocals were actually pretty solid. Like I was not expecting the worst, obviously, but like genuinely shocked at how good his singing voice was. So I really enjoyed that a lot. I also enjoyed Hyungwon because I got to hear a little bit more of his vocal styling as well. I thought he really stood amongst the great vocalists of this group, just because I feel like his more softer, more like tender type vocals, I think really shine very brightly in this type of song. So I really appreciate that. I also feel like, again, I feel like I really enjoyed Shonu a ton. I'm almost positive this is Shonu. If he's the one that's wearing like the red and black plaid jacket, then I feel like I might be a Shonu bias, honestly. At this point, I've called him out a couple different times, so I feel as that is the case. But I also thought Keon was really good. But to be fair, I feel like Keon was going to do really well in these types of songs. Like I think his vocals really do well on the really either big anthemic songs where he's kind of able to like cook vocally, or I feel like in these types of songs he's able to do like some really beautiful runs. And especially towards the end of this song, I'm pretty sure he was doing like a lot of those ad libs at the end over top. He was doing great. So I really like that a lot. I think this was it was cool to hear him again just do a little bit more than what I don't want to say what I would expect him to do, but doing a little bit more than I feel like the song would suggest, and so that's why he's one of the main vocalists of this group. So it makes sense. But yeah, thought this was incredible. I have a soft spot for the ballad type song, so I feel like Biscuit was either doing this because it makes sense for the playlist or was playing into my love of ballad songs. So either way, great stuff. I love it. So very cool, very cool. Biscuit says, except last wedding of their manager, he wanted a hype song. Hey, listen, I respect that. That I feel like if you're going to a wedding, you gotta have the bangers, you gotta have the hits. So I feel right. That feels right. So Connie says, shoot, I'm sick right now, but I'm singing. I love ballads. Oh, Connie, feel better. Thanks for coming to join us. Biscuit says, I think this was the first time he sang. He used to not be as confident with singing, but his voice is gorgeous. I agree. He's got a really like soft timbre to his voice that I think is very like coaxing in a more ballady type song. So really great. And Jazz confirmed that I did point out Shonu, and that Connie followed it up and says that he's got to be your bias. I feel seen. So very nice. Biscuit says, I wanted to include more in the beginning too, just no room. That's fair. That's fair. It's quite the list. You could have made it as long as you wanted to, realistically. So I feel like I don't want people to cap it off just because of that. But I respect the choices, Very nice, very nice. We are keeping it moving. We are getting into the song Beautiful. This is the title off their first full album. Awesome. Let's go. Let's get into it. I'm curious to hear this one.
미쳐버린 것 같아 대체 뭐야 반해버린 것 같아 하루 종일 머릿속에 맴맴 돌아버려 무릎 펴가 매매요 가시도 친구를 알면서도 갖고 싶어 Bad boys 가시 줄긴 아름다운 장미가 피는 법 진한 빨간 꽃말은 널 사랑한다는 걸 온몸에 피가 나도 널 안고 싶어 Cause I think about you every day 이미 중독인 걸 말해 뭐 네가 날 만지면 온몸이 반응해 네가 있어야 살 수 있어 Every day, every night I can feel you 너무 아름다워 눈을 뗄 수가 없어 Oh no 꽃이 핀 가시같이
Great chorus.
So beautiful So beautiful 너무 예뻐 슬프도록 아름다워 Too beautiful to handle 두 finger thumbs up 감탄사를 던져 맨정신을 벗겨 미쳐 돌아버릴 것 같아 네 향기 맡으면 퍼져 또 커져 중독돼버렸어 찔려버렸어 hard 사랑과 아픔 그 단어 사이 조심히 awesome 하지마 난 몰래 눈짓하는 거 하지마 날 보며 살짝 웃는 거내 머리말에 너무 가슴이 말해 oh yes 미친 것 같으니까 I don't know 싹 다 네가 날 만지면 온몸이 반응해 네가 있어야 살 수 있어 Every day, every night I can feel you 너무 아름다워 눈을 뗄 수가 없어 Oh no 꽃이 핀 가시같이 찔릴 것 같아도 날 갖고 싶어 널 지켜줄게 더 예쁘게 피해줘 다쳐도 좋아 난 괜찮아 Cause you're my one and only beauty 아름다워 너를 뗄 수가 없어 Oh no 어차피 가시같이
Look at those ad-libs in the back. So good.
So beautiful So beautiful 너무 예뻐 슬프도록 아름다워 So beautiful to let know
Ooh. All right, all right. This was Monsta X. Beautiful. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you. This was fun. I like this. This was a vibe for sure. Um oh man. This is I think this one might be the more interesting ones in terms of like I think the musicality of this song really works into both favors again. I know I had mentioned it before, but just like this song I feel like collectively has like that dynamic push that I feel like the rappers used to the advantage in the song, but then I think there was also, no pun intended, like some really beautiful moments in this song vocally, but I also feel like as well the instrumentals kind of match that sort of tonality as well too. So I think this was kind of a masterclass in both those sorts of perspectives. So I really like that a lot. I will say that this chorus is insanely catchy. At first I was like, man, like I thought the chorus was good, but then when you got down to the second chorus, I was like, this is really catchy. And then by the third one, I was like, damn, this one like will most likely if I listen to this again, I'm pretty sure it would get ingrained in my head. So I feel like that is such a compliment to this song. So I really like this a lot. Also I feel like I Am and Jihuni were just cooking in this song. I love that they added like this again, a level of aggression, a little bit of punch, and I also feel like they highlighted a lot of their skills. Like I think tonality wise, they obviously have very aggressive styling in terms of the rapping, but I feel like tonality wise, you can really tell the difference between I Am and Jihuni, which I appreciate. And you're able to kind of again break those off a little bit more. So I really like that a lot. I really enjoyed, I think out of the two, I think I enjoyed I Am, though Jihuni is like, give me another day and maybe Jihuni would be my favorite. Like I feel like I could swap to either one and be perfectly satisfied with either choice. But yeah, this was great, and I will agree with Biscuit. That bridge is so gorgeous. I feel like it just adds to that like really kind of like pop polish that I feel like this song has, while still maintaining that again that hard edge that I feel like a lot of the EDM sounds that they bring into their songs do a great job. So I think this is both has like a lot of aggressive sharp moments in the song, but I think it's combated very well with like those really smooth like synth choices, and then I think vocally I think they really kind of have this sort of like gloss to them that I think works very well in tandem to that really aggressive tonality. Like I feel like they're very symbiotic in that way. So I feel like Monsta X does contrast very well, at least from what I've notated, whether it be like their actual vocal styling or the production of their songs. I feel like they're very, very sharp or soft on either end, and I think they do a great job of utilizing both those same side of the coin to, you know, work in the favor. So I definitely love this one a lot. This one's up there for me. I want to get through more because obviously we've got like 12 more videos to comb through, so I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but this one is up there for sure, 100%. So Jazz says banger, would agree. Gunky says this is not the type of sound I expected from a song named Beautiful. I'm really liking it. Ooh, okay. Connie says this is my favorite title track. Wow, okay, that respect. I like that. And then Biscuit says, "Yup." Like they said, the contrast is one of their signatures. Yeah, I feel like they do it so well. Like they're very, very, very methodical. And I as someone who has been listening to music for quite a long time, I feel like, you know, it's the joys of listening to the craft. You know, so I love to see it. So Very nice, very nice. This is high up there, I think, for me. So very nice. We are keeping it moving. The next one on the list is Shine Forever, the title track of the previous album's repackage. It's a song about the fans. We love a good fan song. So let's check it out.
너보다 빛이 나는 건 없어 yeah. 지금 헤매고 있어 길을 잃어버린 나이처럼 One and only like a holly I'm fascinated by the bright light of your beauty 어두웠던 날들이 이제 너를 대입해 날 온통 밝게 물들여줘 하얗게 You're so beautiful 더 빛이 나 너를 계속 볼 수 있게 한 번으로 만족 못해 다시 웃어줘 그렇게 두 팔 벌려 내게로 와서 안겨 꼭 안겨 내 품 안에 안겨 빈 공간에 널 채워두고 싶어 내가 너를 비출게 Shine forever
오.
네가 힘들 테니까 yeah. 네가 혼자 있지 않게 내가 있어줄게 너의 곁에 너란 따뜻한 빛을 담고 나란 꽃은 광합성 찬란한 천사 내 눈을 멀게 하소서 비로소 나로서 이제야 그댈 알았어 너의 화려함 그 날개 달고 날아왔죠 You're so beautiful 더 빛이 나 너를 계속 볼 수 있게 한 번으로 만족 못해
Also, Kaylee, I forgot to ask, what are you making for dinner?
빛이 나는 내게 달려갈게 yeah. 생각은 모두 떨쳐 내게 집중할 시간만 내게 남게 yeah. 너의 찬란한 빛을 만지게 해줘 어디로 가득한 품 그 품에 안기게 해줘
잘
계속 빛나줘 내 길 이리로 헤매더라도 계속 빛나줘 Shine forever
Oh, nice. Ooh, nice. All right. This was Monsta X, Shine Forever if you're hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Wow. This is cool. I feel like this one feels very like EDM like driven. I feel like that goes without saying certainly, but like I like the production on this. It feels very dynamic, feels very full. I love the kind of like warble that it has. It just works out well for their styling. I feel like they do an awesome job, I think, of not only where I feel like if on paper, again, reading what Biscuit had said about them being very EDM oriented, not that I feel like their vocals would get crushed. I feel like if anything, it would be the opposite. I feel like the dynamics of the song wouldn't maybe reach the peaks of what I feel like they would in my head, but after listening to about, almost 10 songs of Monsta X so far, I feel like they do a great job of not only, I feel like, giving the dynamics to the song when it's need be, but I also feel like very very much in the same boat. I think they do a great job of making the vocals shine, which I think is such a hard process to do because like EDM music is so dynamic and so full. I feel like it is hard to make vocals cut in those types of songs, but this worked out so well, and I feel like a lot of their other songs have done a really great job of that as well. So I don't want to discredit the ones that have like more of an EDM leaning to them, but I feel like this one really just has a lot of great like punch dynamics to it. Not only I think from the production side of things with like the synths, I also feel like vocally this is also equally as dynamic. So I really love that a ton. I also gotta give a shout out to my man Kian. I thought, especially towards the end when he was just doing like a lot of like vocal runs and ad libbing at the end, I was just like, damn, he's just such a fun vocalist to like really listen in on and pay attention to intently. He's just cooking, you know what I mean? And I think he's got such a really interesting like range dynamically. It's just fun to hear him just not only I think hit like the main vocal parts that he's a part of, but just again towards the end where he's just really able to just do what he does. I love to see that, and I think they give him the opportunity to really do a great job of that. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a really solid track. Like I love that it's a fan song. I feel like fan songs typically are a little bit more on the softer end of the scale, so this was a nice change of pace. I feel like from the atypical. So yeah, I thought this was great. Music video was shot very beautifully as well too. Shout outs to the director for doing that, and the people who were doing like color grading and stuff. They did a great job. It looks very very pleasing to the eyes. So great stuff. This is awesome. So let's see. Everyone say Connie says I'm seeing this on mute now, and Jess followed up and said LOL same. Love it. Let's see what else. I asked Kaylee what she's making, and they said pizza boats, which at first I was like, what the hell is a pizza boat? Now I followed it up. So someone just says, I really like this MV. They all look so good. And then Kaylee finally told me what a pizza boat is, which is a loaf of bread cut up with pizza sauce, cheese, and pepperoni, then baked. Okay, that sounds fire. I'm about that. Sounds delish. And Kaylee says I'll send a picture later once it finishes in Discord in cooking. Oh, nice. Hey, love to see it. So I've been slacking. I should post some of the meals I've made recently, but very nice. Yeah, Biscuit. Kian is going off. I love it. So great stuff. We're cooking. We're cooking tonight with Monsta X. So we are keeping it moving on the playlist. The next one is Newton. So technically this is technically a Lipton ad. LOL. It's very loved, and they performed it even at FanCon. It's my favorite ad song personally. The MV has funny details as well. You'll probably notice. Ooh, okay. Very interesting. I'm curious how this is gonna. I'm curious how this one's gonna sound. So it just says, "Dang, I just made it so." I feel that. But anyway, let's get into Newton. Let's check it out.
심장은 떨어져 버렸어 이끌 별을 맞든 나의 모습 아침처럼 기분이 좋아 feeling good like that 잊지 못할 이 느낌 날 상쾌하게 해 다시 날 너로 채워줘 pop it up refresh
이건 마치 인력 같은 거 누구나 너에게 당겨져 벗어날 수 없게 하는 달콤한 그런 매력인걸 몇 번 해봐도 새로운 너 나에게 언제나 똑같은 일상 속에 내가 도망쳐 나갈 유일한 문인걸 바다마저 널 향해 파도처럼 나 잠들 수 없어 네가 생각나 꿈마저 온통 너로 가득한
Nice retorque though.
별보다 더 별 같은 별에 달콤한 심장 가득할 거야 너라는 반짝이는 별에 난 머물러 있을게 언제나 난 발끈했어 날 닦이는 걸 네 매력인 걸 네가 원인인 걸 별보다 더 별 같은 너의 반짝이는 눈빛 때문인 걸 하늘에 별은 많고 많지만 난 지구에만 있는 별이야 운석처럼 너에게 떨어진 내 심장을 간직해줘
보다 더 fit day beautiful and pretty 빈티보다는 great 해가 나지 않은 후 애매 너와 나의 first 이런 느낌 best 별의 별 style 다 별로 너 빼고 by 별은 저 별로
별보다 별 같은 별엔 달콤한 심장 가득할 거야 너라는 반짝이는 별에 나 머물러 있을게 언제나 난 발끈했어 날 당기는 걸네 매력인 걸 네가 원인인 걸 별보다 별 같은 너의 반짝이는 눈빛 때문인 걸
All right, very cool. This was Monsta X Newton. If you're hanging out, thanks for hanging. Wow, this is a fun song. I like the major key lightness to the song. I think if you did not tell me this was a Lipton ad, I mean, obviously, if I watched the MV, which I just watched, I think I would have put it two and two together, obviously. But I think if this just came up on my Spotify like playlist of like K-pop songs, that like if it just generated a K-pop playlist for me, like I wouldn't have. I feel like most ad songs, I don't think you would really know if it is an ad song or not. If we're being honest, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel, this one I feel like would feel the most far removed, if anything, from an ad song. And I really like it. I kind of, it gives me a different change of pace, which I think is always really fun to hear. And I think it just stretches the metaphorical legs a little bit more too. You know, you get to hear them do something in a different light. Therefore, you know, there's different things to be able to point out in the song. I really liked kind of the tonality of the song. I think the only thing that I didn't find that I liked, and it's a little upsetting because I actually liked the rap section, but I thought IM section was a little weird. I don't know if whether or not it's just YouTube. It could potentially be that, but I feel like the filtering of his voice was like really weird, or maybe it was like the filtering of like the instrumentation, just really odd. Like it felt like decibel level was a little bit lower, and then they did like kind of like a ramp, like a little bit of a musical ramp to get to that chorus, which not really too big of a fan of. I thought they could have done it a little bit more interestingly, and if anything, I feel like dynamically they could have shown a little bit more, but that's my personal preference, because I do feel like it detracts from the song a little bit. I think vocally this was also really nice. You got to hear I would think there's a lot more like ensemble vocals in this song. Like it just feels it feels a lot fuller. I also like a lot of the harmonization as well. I feel like there's a lot more harmony choice in this song, so really like that a ton. Um, I really enjoyed Shonu's section. I feel like again the Shonu bias is showing certainly, but I thought he was really incredible. But yeah, I also enjoyed Hyungwon as well. I feel like there is some moments there where I was like, is that Hyungwon? Like his more like softer kind of tonality, I feel like showed a little bit more in this song as well too. So, um, yeah, I like this one a lot. Again, I was a little bit shocked at how much I was gonna enjoy it. Like I said, the only hiccup for me was maybe like the I am rap section, but I mean, I feel like again maybe it might just be the song or it might just be the production side of things. But I feel like that could have. I think if they changed like. I feel like if maybe they lowered the instrumental a little bit and gave his vocals a little bit more pop, I think that would have been on point. But hey, it is what it is. I like I said, it doesn't ruin the song for me at all, but it's definitely something that I like auditorily noticed. And I was like, wait, was there like a decibel drop or something? So I feel like that was interesting. But very nice song. Connie says, I absolutely adore this song. They are so cute. I agree. I liked them having a good time. It was so much fun. Biscuit says, I want to try one of those things that lift out of the water. And Jess says they look fun for real. I do feel like they look interesting. I heard that you better have some like phenomenal core strength because that would be tested for sure. And makes sense because you're basically standing on like a platform and you have to use your body to like navigate it. So I could see that. So Biscuit says, right, you'd never know about the ad songs and could see what I was saying about the filtering. So very interesting. Otherwise, like I said, not a bad song. Definitely a really, really, really solid release. Just feel like, just a smidge lower than I feel like I know where they could be, but we are keeping it moving. The next one is 11, and this one is Drama Rama, the title track of their EP, The Code, and their first win, which was extremely emotional. They all cried. Oh, that's adorable. This is also the start of their main storyline / lore about time travel. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, let's get into it then.
Is not allowed. Do not take any watches from CHW.
Drama, Mohae. Drama, Mohae. Drama, Mohae.
Okay. I like that intro.
너의 그 눈빛 묶여버린 나의 팔과 다리 No way 나 뻔해 시간을 멈춰 움직일 수 없어 다시 내 맘에 돌고 돌아 똑같은 자리 Daydream 꿈을 꾸지 이 눈부신 환영 이 달콤한 환청 널 품에 안은 채로 눈을 뜨게 해줘 전부 너라면 Yes I do 그게든 난 적당히 좋아하는 게 그게든 난 적당히 다가가는 게 너는 잊을 수가 없는 아름다운 충격 숨쉴 틈을 한번 주지 않게 그게든 난 적당히 맘을 주는 게 그게든 난 적당히 빠져있는 게 네가 그려둔 빅 픽처 그 속에 난 갇혀 그칠할 수 없는 나의 드라마 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 Mohae 드라마 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 Mohae 드라마 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 She's like Rama 상상 속 감마 우리 늑대와 미녀 같아 brown 걸 뚫고 나와 Oh mama gosh 널 본 내겐 너무 아쉬워 길 잃은 방랑자 널 믿고 어디 안 가 Rama 미쳐버리지 Oh my god 얼마나 이 순간을 기다렸는가 그만 좀 할 때가 되지 혼자만 절망감 같은 트라우마 말고 바다 꽃다발 심각할 필요 없어 솔직해져 볼까 내게 말해봐 What to do 그게든 난 적당히 좋아하는 게 그게
같이 솟는 장면이야 이제 널 내 걸로 만들 줄 아는 게 당연이야
당연한 걸 물어 그저 바람이 불어오는 대로 네가 내게 오면 되는 걸 풀어
바보같이 행동하지 마
지켜주고 싶게 비극이 널 더럽히더라도
이겨낼 수 있게 뭘가 내 안에
배인 너의 향기가 발동이 되어져 막아낼 테니까 그기든 난 적당히 좋아하는 게 그기든 난 적당히 다가가는 게 너는 잊을 수가 없는 아름다운 충격 숨쉴 틈을 한번 주지 않게 그기든 난 적당히 마음을 주는 게 그기든 난 적당히 빠져있는 게 내게 적당한 건 없어 극단적인 장면 끝이랄 수 없는 나의 드라마 자꾸 반복되는 장면 그 속에 나 갇혀 끝이랄 수 없는 나의 드라마
All right, very cool. This was Monsta X Drama Rama. If you're hanging out, Biscuit says this is where I learned that the glass in movies like Crashes is silicone. I think I believe you are correct. Yes, it's so they don't like actual glass doesn't hurt the actor or actress. So that would make sense. Someone just says I really like this song. The beat, the rap, the choreo are all very cool. Ooh, okay. I also thought this one was very solid. I like this a lot. I also noticed at the beginning, and they did do it a couple different times throughout the song. I love that intro. That intro of them doing the drama rama like rhyme, or not rhyme, but just lyricism. I thought it was cool because not only do they have the like way that they harmonize that, but then they stack on another level of that, and the harmonization adds a little bit of dissonance to the song just because of the way that the like if we're thinking about it from a music theory standpoint, like they're supposed to kind of overlap each other in a way, and that's what creates that kind of dissonant tone. It's like actually a pleasant dissonance, but like as they kind of did it, that was really cool. And then on top of that, I noticed that because they were going down chromatically, I also appreciate that as well. So there's a lot of combination of those different melodic notes that I really appreciate, and I think tonally it's really unique, and I would imagine it is one of the reasons I feel like is one of the reasons why this song stands out. I also really enjoyed the rap as well. I feel like Jahuni and I Am are just an incredible dynamic duo. I feel like they feed off of each other really well, and I felt like in this song they did a great job of kind of like, I don't know, like slingshotting each other into the next section of the song. Like I feel like they're very dynamic, they're very punchy, and I feel like they build off of that kind of momentum. So I really like that. Those stood out to me a lot. I think there is definitely some parts of the song where I felt like maybe it wasn't kind of hidden all the way. I feel like dynamically there's a lot of cool interactions going on in this song. Like I said, melodically I think it was very interesting, but I feel like this song just is like maybe like missing like a little bit of an element to me. You know what I mean? Like there's just something about the song that isn't like, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like this one's good. Like if this is your favorite, hey, I respect you for it. Like that is amazing. I'm glad you love this song. I just feel like to me it was just like definitely something about the song that just like I would hope is kind of clicking over. So I think to me it was I think to me this is probably where it kind of, there's a little bit of things that I appreciate, and there's definitely some parts of the song that I was just like, you know what, maybe it just isn't there yet. But I'll probably go back and listen to this one. I would imagine this one, to me, in my mind, feels like one of those types of songs that just is going to grow on me. Like, the more I listen to it, I feel like the more I'm probably going to just enjoy it. But yeah, I feel like this one is I feel like I'll give this the title of slow burn. I feel like there's almost always one song in a K-pop discography that I feel like I may not get right now, but there's going to be a time where I come back to it. I'm going to be like, you know, I like this song. You know what I mean? Like, I will say, full transparency, I I came around to actually liking Gnarly from Cat's Eye. I know, shocker, but I feel like that one grew on me so much. I partially might be because my partner loves that song, but I feel like I turned around. I enjoyed it. Like, it's not like one of those songs that I'm just gonna be like, yo, I gotta listen to this every day. But it's just definitely one that I feel like just the gears were turning a little bit more. So if you lessen my value on my thoughts on anything going further, hey, it is what it is. I'll die on the hill. So Biscuit says they synergize so well. Connie says, bro, my Wi-Fi was not working. Now I realize it was connected to a Japanese VPN. Oh, God. Gunky says, you just broke my heart. Oh, my God. Listen, if you like the song, hey, it is what it is. If you don't like the song, it also is what it is. I think that's musical choice is a preference, So this is nothing this is nothing gnarly about it. Oh my God. Listen, it is what it is. I was gonna say gnarly is a fun song. I feel like I said, I'm not taking it at face value. I'm just saying like the catchiness aspect of the song started to get the gears turning a little bit more. So anyway, we're going to move on from that car wreck to the next one, which is going to be number 12. We're on to Jealousy. This is the title track of Connect Deja Vu EP. I don't remember exactly, but I believe they talked about prepping a lot for this comeback in a very short time span. Oh, okay. Very interesting. All right. Let's get into it then.
내가 이러는 거
우와.
사실은 즐기는 거지 나 보란 듯이 더 헛결 붙들여 하하번에 나라서 특별히 그런 줄 알았지 혼자 착각할 뻔했네 고민하다가 내 머리만 빙빙 대체 왜 그러는 건데 우리 아무 사이 아닌데 뭐지 자꾸 거슬려 왜 내가 jealousy 내가 아닌 다른 사람 빤히 쳐다보는 눈빛 jealousy 내가
Great chorus.
다른 사람 얘기도 그만해줘 stop it baby jealousy
And baby who the X I'm a X 너 때문에 지금 난 불난도 개비 난 적토마지 톤하니까 널 향해 keep going
Okay, I got it. 일곱 주 마지막 차례. Think these guys are better than me. 자 말해봐 너가 느끼는 게 대체 뭔지 그냥 날 믿고 따라와 fly with me.
지금 왜 두셔놓은 얘기를 하니 사람 질투나게 내가 아닌 다른 사람 빤히 쳐다보는 눈빛 jealousy 내가 아닌 다른 사람 얘기도 그만해줘 stop it
지각도 지각각 놀리는 게 뭐가 그리 재미나
상상도 잠깐만
Oh, I like the panning. That was cool.
나좀 질투가 나 맘에 라타타타
저기 닿는 데들 구름대지 마 baby
어딜 봐
여기를 봐
한꺼번에 내 swagging
swagging 매력가 feel
다만 내 진심이 그저 궁금해 이제 나도 모르겠어 이러다가 나 언젠가 아마 질투에만 눈이 멀겠지 이게 내 작전이라면 아주 제대로 먹혔어 Jealous baby 더 가까이 이제 그만 우리 주변도 가까이 Jealousy 얘가 아닌 다른 사람과 있는 너
All right. Very nice. This was Monsta X's Jealousy. Um wow. This was phenomenal. I think this might be the one to beat now. Wow. What a fun, dynamic, interesting song. I enjoyed this one a lot. As you can tell, I was making faces throughout, so I feel like this is up there. Um I I feel like they do well. I feel like their bread and butter truly is that like EDM sound. I feel like they do a great job of like incorporating that into their music. And maybe that's kind of why I felt like maybe the last one just didn't quite hit me the way that I feel like this one does. Um and that's not to detract from that song anyway. I feel like that one was incredible as well, but I feel like this one is just like amongst a league of its own, certainly. I also really enjoyed a lot of the vocal layering and styling in the song. I think they did a great job of like giving each member, I feel like, a moment in the sun, but I also feel like the ensemble vocals, the way that they feel like dynamically, just I feel like is on another level in the song, and they were really able to capitalize that on this song that much more. Um, I love the chorus. I would say the chorus is probably my favorite, probably one of my favorite parts of the song. I just love the hook on it. I think that like the way that they stylize jealousy, I feel like is so good. It's like got this like earwormy catchiness to it that like is pulling from like Michael Jackson in some ways, obviously being the king of pop, but like definitely pulling a lot from that like Michael Jackson era of like how he was how he was able to hook people in. I feel like this song has that sort of Michael Jackson appeal to it, vocally, that I really like. As well as that, I think the bridge was really cool too. I think this one added like a little bit of reprieve to like how not how the song is like really dynamically heavy, but I feel like just adds a little bit of like, oasis in the desert type feel where you're like getting this really serene, beautiful moment in the song that I think really is capitalized that much more so in that final chorus. I think the final chorus is arguably my favorite part of the song. I think they did a great job of that. And the build in from, I think they had like Jehuni and I am like kind of going back and forth as what Jazz was saying. I just feel like that combination, they're just like, they truly are like such a fun dynamic duo. And I feel like this song represents their synergy together so well. So I really enjoyed that a lot. But man, that final chorus with Kyun just popping off vocally in the back, you can hear him doing some really like high notes, doing some falsetto tones, like just really gorgeous. And I think it just put the cherry on top for me as being amongst the favorites. Again, we still got a little bit more, but I feel like this one is very much in place one right now and could potentially be dethroned, but I feel like it's going to be a tough one because this one, if this is in your favorite Monsta X songs, or at least title tracks, I'd be surprised, just because I feel like it does really do a great job of representing them well. But hey, everyone's, like I said, got their personal preference, so very cool. Let's see what we got comment wise. Connie says that this is where I fell in love with Kian's pink hair. Agreed. Gungi says, I think we're getting close to my favorite song by them, and also said, I'm liking this song. Jazz's comment earlier about always loving when I am and Jehuni go back and forth. I agree. Kaylee says that was great. Biscuit says, this is probably one of my favorite MX songs in general. Would agree. Sonja says, great song. Sarah says, love them so much. Biscuit followed up and said the hook is so good, and said, yes, MJ, I honestly feel they and Taemin and the K-pop MJ sons, to be honest. Jehuni is a major fan too. Oh, art. That would make sense. I could see that. Especially with Taemin stuff, I would agree. But I feel like with Monsta X, this song, I think particularly I could notice like the MJ influence, which is great. I feel like obviously how it speaks to the transcendence of his musical influence, but but I felt like this was so good. This is like a masterclass in vocals for sure. So very cool, very cool. We are keeping it moving. The next one we have is Lost in the Dream. This is one of their most popular B-sides, and a fandom favorite from the same album. I didn't have time to find a higher quality version of the whole group performance, unfortunately. This is at their fan con in 2023, so Minhyuk is not there, nor Wonho. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. And Kanye says, "Ooh, this B-side is everything." Ooh, okay. Okay. Some high praise. So check it out. That stage setup's raw. That is so sick.
아침이 밝으면 매번 사라지는 너 매일 기도해 다시 잠들 때 내게 안기길 꿈인 걸 알아도 헤어나오질 못해 환상이라도 아름다운 너 그림자라도 갖고 싶은 난 매일 밤 널 찾아 같은 꿈을 헤매어 멈추고 싶어도 벗어날 수 없어 난 달이 뜨면 시작돼 늘 똑같이 반복되는 밤 추락하게 빠져들어 깊숙이 파고드는 dream 불러줘 잡아줘 이 순간 속에 타고들어 절대 깨어날 수 없는 dream 잡아줘 헛소리치라도
이건 어쩌 분명 확실한 예지만 매번 반복되는 내 소망의 배경 날카로운 초승 갈두기에 늑대 울음소리 다시 시작된 그 동시에 널 찾는 나의 목소리
I'm lost in dream. I feel like empty and clean. Boy, your ship gets more bigger than me, even that I can't reach out like a dream. Make me free, make me lean, and baby, make me see. Don't make me lost in the dream. Just come, let's make a dream.
꿈을 남기면 괜찮을 거란 기대 딸이 잠들면 빠져들어가 다가갈수록 희미해져가 Hey yeah 마음속에 난 끝없이 망가져지고 싶어도 네가 자꾸 커져가 그런 만큼 위험해 나를 잃어가도 괜찮아 추락하게 빠져들어 깊숙이 파고드는 dream 불러줘
Falsetto tone is beautiful.
희미해지는 시야의 고통은 독하디독해 사방이 어지러워 빠져나오지를 못해
빠져나오지 못하는 당신의 안개가 듬품 그대 안에 잠겨주고도 좋으니 매워진 당신의 숨 You gon' be and I got you Things that we got never flew Please don't wake me up in this dream where baby I got a feeling you
I am cooking. Nice. Very nice. All right. This was Monsta X, Lost in the Dream, if you're hanging out. Wow, this was so good. I will definitely have to spend my time and listen to this one post stream too. well, this is one I will have to return to certainly because I definitely want to listen to this in the studio version. But wow, this was so cool. I want to give a shout out. I did mention it at the top of the video, but man, the stage setup in this was impeccable. That's such a cool stage. I don't know if this was shot in Korea or not, but man, so much fun. I thought the stage production was awesome. So shout out to whoever was doing the lights, production, cameras, all that shit, because they did a wonderful job of that. But the song itself was incredible. I feel like it was very serene, very beautiful, and I think that's kind of the beauty of B-sides, you know. I love that. I feel like, to me, it's like I love that Biscuit is kind of giving me the different flavors of what Monsta X has, which, I feel like the live performance aspect of thing is just as crucial as I feel like it is with I feel like it's just as crucial as, the studio material. I love being able to see artists perform live. I probably will try to go to shows until I kick the bucket, or I'm not able to anymore, just because I love the live aspect, the camaraderie, seeing artists put it all out there. I feel like is, to me is, such a therapeutic thing. So I love experiencing that. I feel like even watching these types of videos is really impressive. But I really like this a lot. I feel like dynamically this one showed off a lot of different skills. I mean, obviously they were down some members in this particular live, but I feel like if you didn't tell me, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have noticed. It's not that. It's not that I don't feel like they don't do, obviously a great job of having the different members, but it did feel like they didn't skip a beat, so I really love that, and kudos to obviously the members that were performing the song. But man, I thought this was really, really good. I believe, if I'm correct, I think Shonu was the one that was all the way to the left, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can get a still, because I'm 95% sure it was Shonu. He was doing the final chord. If this is Shonu, I think I was Shonu biased, because I thought his, especially in this final chorus, I think he did a fantastic job, really holding it down. Obviously, major salutes to Kihyun. He did, my brain was melting at some of those vocal riffs at the end. He was doing a lot of belting. It just was a masterclass vocally. But I do feel like Kihyun just I feel like he just is just such a great job of holding that holding it down. He was doing some really great vocal vocal ad libs and stuff, especially getting into that falsetto tone was really great. I also, again, I'm going to echo what Jazz said in the previous song sentiment, but just that trade off between I Am and Jehuni, I feel like is just unmatched. I think they do just such a great job dynamically. And they really pick up, I don't want to say the slack, but they really do pick up a lot of the dynamic things. I feel like I Am, especially in this song, I think was killing it to me. I just loved his aggression, that little bit of angst at the end of his second verse, I believe, or the second part of the song he was in. It just really I could feel it in my chest. You know what I mean? He's just singing it in that regard. And I feel like you can definitely tell he put a lot of their emotion and fortitude in the song. So I really like that a lot. Obviously, gotta give massive props to Kihyun. I feel like he did incredible in the song. So obviously I feel like he is so incredible. But I also gotta give it out to Hyun Wong. I think he did also a great job as well. I noticed that he was doing a lot more, carrying a lot more of the vocals as well in this song, and I think he did a really beautiful job of holding it down too. So, it makes sense that this is a popular B-side, and for good reason. I think this one just really shows off the power that Monsta X has, and they're really able to bring the dynamics, and I think it was amplified a little bit more because this was a live performance, but just you can feel the heart. So I love that. So Biscuit says the whole playlist. I was like, should I choose a live or studio? They're both so good. And Kaylee says, I know the struggle. I feel like it's so hard. You know what I mean? I respect y'all for choosing what you deem is appropriate. So I'm cool with both. I like it. I like it equally as much. So. Biscuit says there's a clip of Kian singing the bridge a cappella that went pretty viral. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Sonja says their concert looks amazing. I agree. Biscuit says, no, we say the same. Obviously, when someone isn't there, we miss them, but someone doesn't know, they fill in very well. And Koki says you can't go wrong with either way. I was gonna say, I think, like, as I mentioned before, I think there's a necessity to both, and I do feel like you guys do a really great job. And even when we do cover other groups, when we're not doing the specific deep dives, I think we usually find a good middle ground of both. So very nice, very nice. We are keeping it moving. The next one is If Only, one of Wonho's songs, also from the same album. He said originally wanted to write about death, but instead made a song more ambiguous about fear of time passing and being forgotten / abandoned. The video was filmed in Spain. Oh, okay. Very nice, very nice. All right, let's get into If Only then. Oh, nice. Monsta X. Ooh, nice. Okay.
지금이 아니면 또 아주 오래된 사람이 되어버린 그렇게 눈 감고서 조금 숨을 아껴서 저 없이 무한에 갇히게 돼 새들아 날아 그대에게 한 발짝 다가갈 수 있도록 우리 사이 다리를 놓아주렴 아파하고 또 아파할 것 같아 보고 싶고 또 보고 싶을 것 같아 I don't wanna hurt you 여기는 당연함이 가슴을 찌르는 간절함이 되지 않게 그러니까 난 그대로 멈춰 있어 여기 있다고 말할 수 있을까 I'm gonna be with you 멈춰서 고이 접어서 바람에 맡길게요 우리 어떤 온기도 보내어 받는 다음에 그대로 가득하길 바랄게요 제가 이기적인가요? 아닌가요? 그대 나와 같다면 말해줘요 다르더라도 괜찮아 그냥 날 부르는 그대의 목소리 듣고 싶네요 오늘 하루만 도려내서 내일이 오지 않게 할 수는 없을까 아프니까 어제 그대로 멈춰 있어 거기 있어 또 말할 수 있을까 I'm gonna be with you 멈춰서 뒤돌아 보면 네가 나를 보고 있을까 후회하진 않을까 후회하진 않을까 우리를 못 믿어서 너무 아픈 게 나랑 똑같을 것만 같아 한마디 되돌려 내게 난 지금이 될 수 있을까 세상 후회하는 게 우리 똑같을 것만 같아 헤어진 그 이쁘지만
Keychain?
나를 그곳에 가면 네가 나를 보고 있을까 그럴 리 없겠지만 그럴 리 없겠지만 분명 알고 있는데 눈을 감으면 보고 서 있을 것만 같아 여기 조금만 더 기다리면 널 만날 수 있을까
Very nice. All right, this was Monsta X, if only. Very nice. Um, this one was a nice change of pace. Like I know we have listened to Softa X once before this, and I really enjoyed this one, but I think this one just like was so serene. There's something about it that it makes you appreciate artists and what they're capable of doing. Because I think if you took their discography at face value and you only know them for having like those really dynamic songs, that's great. But I feel like there's just so much to offer, and I like when initially getting into K-pop music, like I only thought that groups only did one specific thing, and not that it was like maybe like the naivety of knowing what K-pop is collectively, but I feel like to me there is something really special about having a song that like is very melancholic. I feel like this one just has like a beauty to it that I don't feel like they get to represent a whole lot in like the title tracks that you get to hear from them on a typical. So this was really nice. I think again offers a nice change of pace and yeah, obviously growth as vocalists. One thing I noticed throughout the entirety of the song, I really enjoyed like the ensemble vocals. They like really added this beautiful melodicness to the song that I think just kind of is just like a really beautiful through line throughout the track that just I think worked out really well, and I think it adds to that like again melancholic sort of feel to the song. I also really liked that this one highlighted Shonu a lot. I feel like I got to hear his vocals even that much more so, but I knew at the beginning it was Shonu, and he got mixed in a couple different more times than I would have imagined him to in this song. So I really appreciated that. And man, he just again sticks out to me so much. But I also really liked Hyun Wang and Wano. I feel like they both also sounded really gorgeous in this song. I really, especially Hyun Wang, I think he did like the bridge section of the song really great. I think again that softer tone I think really works in his benefit in a type of song like this. Like I just I just imagined him to shine that much more just because his vocals are more naturally in that way. um and then register wise, this song is high. Like even for I feel like a guys group, I feel like the register is pretty high. But then they kicked it up a notch even more so, and then added did like a key change or like a melody change like towards the end of the song, and I was just like, damn, they really are pushing their vocal limits and like really getting into like the top end of your head voice slash like really getting into that falsetto tone, and it was really beautiful. And I don't feel like you get to hear that as much. I would argue within guys groups, so it was a nice combination. I feel like of that. I think in terms of the Softa X, I'd probably say this one is definitely my favorite of the ones that we've listened to so far. I don't know if there's more in the 6 songs that we have left, but I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think this one's gonna still stand out to me after this stream. I think this was so good. So really enjoyed this one a lot. Everyone looks like they were vibing to this. Connie says cute song, but sad. I would agree with that. Sandra says I like the soft side of these guys. I didn't know they had one. They're talented for sure. I agree. Biscuit says they have a lot of softer songs, but mostly in B-sides. So yeah, not as many people know. And Biscuit says I feel like regarding his music with MX, this is very Wonho like song. Like I said, sentimental and kind of melancholic. I could see that for sure, for sure. And Biscuit says, I think he's definitely your bias. I am pretty sure I've landed on that. And Biscuit says there is one or two. There is one kind of two. Okay, fair enough. And Sundra says, boy, K-pop groups always amaze me with their falsetto and vocal control. Monsta X, excuse me, is no exception. Stamp of approval on that one. I feel like couldn't have said it better myself. So I would agree. They are very fascinating to really listen to. I think is the impeccableness of how high their vocals can go. So very nice, very nice. The next one we are moving on to is Shootout, another one of their most popular tracks. The title of their second album, Take One, Are You There? The intro dance, which is they call Manor Mode, is a buzzing phone. Is especially famous. Their mini story with this and Alligator are on the 7 deadly sins, which some people connect to their other storylines. Ooh, okay. Very interesting. Biscuit says Shootout and a vibe switch, and then Jazz says another banger. Ooh, okay. Well, let's get banger mode activated. Let's check it out.
Excuse me, I'm walking like zombie. 반쯤은 두고 미치고 팔짝 뛰어 jumping. 길이길이 기억해 손 모양 총 모양 블락아 블락아. 거리돌이 되어버린 난 너의 I'm chopper chopper. Blah 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 keep blah blah you blah blah stop talking. 떠나버린 감정은 터트려 주저없이 너 pop pop pop. Never gonna stop this 너 망설임 없이 가. 찾고 있던 끈도 이제 누게 난 draw.
반쯤 넉나간 채로 무거운 다리를 끌며 걸어 헤매는 어딘가 찾아가 누군가 네가 없는 황혼에서 새벽 발목을 움켜잡은 이건 이별 어둠 속에 위태롭게 휘청이고 있어 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 어차피 다 끝났다면 네 맘이 떠났다면 희망도 남김없이 버려 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 언젠간 온다니 그게 더 잔인하게 들려 어서 더 차갑게 Rolling Walker, walker, walker Walker, 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 crawling Walker, walker, walker
I ain't what I am. I ain't no risk, promise it, I can promise it. Ooh, hold on, take your time, gonna make that rip up like a piece. 그릇탕탕 시간이야 밥을 떠리는 몸숨이 너무 가빠 들어라 바깥 들어가 바깥 구르는 몸 일으켜 세우기 지금 바빠
너를 원한 그 후로 내 맘은 멀쩡한 곳이 없어 닥쳐는 어딘가 그래도 너니까 네가 없는 황혼에서 새벽 발목을 움켜잡은 이건 이별 어둠 속에 위태롭게 휘청이고 있어 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 더 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 어차피 다 끝났다면 네 맘이 떠났다면 희망도 남김없이 버려 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 더 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 언젠간 온다니 그게 더 잔인하게 들려 어서 더 차갑게 Fire 지금 네 입으로 끝이라는 말을 네 심장에 써줘 Fire 이런 지옥 같은 힘만을 끝내줘 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 어차피 다 끝났다면 네 맘이 떠났다면 희망도 남김없이 버려 날 위해 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 강하게 Shoot out, shoot out, shoot out 언젠간 온다니 그게 더 잔인하게 들려 어서 더 차갑게
Ooh. All right. Very cool. This was Monsta X Shootout. If you're hanging out, thanks for hanging. Wow. This was so much fun. Dynamically off the charts. I feel like we are truly in the vibe switch for sure. But I like this a lot. This I feel like is a tried and true Monsta X song. You know what I mean? Like if you were to tell me, like, even if I didn't know this was Monsta X, if I closed my eyes and I listened to the song, I'd be like, this feels like a Monsta X song, you know? And I feel like that, again, is very complimentary to what I feel like they do well with their title tracks, which are these really anthemic, big, electronic EDM songs. You know what I mean? I also, again, I want to sound like a broken record, but man, just like the combination of Jehuni and IM are just really incredible. I think in this song they felt I don't want to say they felt the most dynamic, but I would say amongst my favorite performances from them tonight. I just think that they've got such a good charisma, and I think that this song obviously shows that off very well. I also don't know if I really pointed this out, and I kind of feel stupid that I'm pointing it out towards the tail end of part one. But I really like Jehuni's like a rasp in the way that he raps. Like, there's just something about it that I don't know if I pointed it out beforehand, but it's just really cool, and I think it just adds that little bit of aggression, especially again when we go through more of the again, some of those like tougher rap sections. I think it's just so nice. It adds that really fun bit of dynamic to the song that I really liked. As well as that, Kyun sounded incredible in this song. Especially towards the end, I really loved that bridge section. I think that bridge section was probably trailing into that final chorus. I think was my favorite section of the song. I just love that push in that song. I think they do a great job. I would probably say right now it's probably my favorite bridge that they've done so far. I just love that. It just works out so well. And I think that transition from that like bridge section to the final chorus was just absolutely dynamically so much fun. So I really love that a lot. Choreography was also really cool. I thought this one was another really chef's kiss as well. But yeah, overall, I thought this one was another really, really, really well put together song. If this is amongst your favorites or is your favorite Monsta X song, I respect you for it, because this one I think on any given day could be my favorite Monsta X song, but not for tonight. So, well, I'll have to come back and revisit. But it's just so fun, so good. So, let's get into some comments here. Let's see what we got. Gungi says, best song tonight so far. Ooh, okay. Fair enough. Connie says, I still go back to see the Shonu fan cam sometimes. The chest vibrations is everything. Fair enough. And Biscuit says yes, and the growling, yeah, kind of giving rest in peace some light DMX vibes. So I could see it. Sarah says Jiwon and Gunwook covered this song, and it was almost as hot as the original. Biscuit says, to be honest, I think MX is super hard to cover. Jiwon and Gunwook did amazing. I'm sorry, know them from most of ZB1 since they're mono bibes. Oh, nice. Oh, very cool. Yeah, wow. All right. And Biscuit says, like all idols were, and even doing it now. Okay, so the dance. Oh, that's interesting. That is so crazy. It was after, obviously this is not 10 years ago, but still not recent. 6 years ago. I think that's impressive. So it still has obviously a level of popularity. So we are moving on to the next one, which is 16. This one's Mohae, the first song on the album by IM and his crew. IM for Monsta X songs works pretty exclusively with two members of his crew, Koda and Wookie and Yoon Seok. It's a B-side on the Are You There album. Very nice. Okay. Biscuit says Shonu is on a show and they still reference the dance. Yes. Oh my god. Wow, that's crazy. I'm curious, I'm always curious, and maybe I'm just kind of going off the beaten path a little bit here, but I'm always curious, like, if you have something so resonant to your group and you obviously go and do other things, like, I'm curious how members feel about that, if that's sort of stuff like travels with them. I'm always very curious if like they enjoy it, or like, obviously I'm sure most of them are just like, hey, it's part of my job, it's my business, you know what I mean, like, I'm cool with it. But I feel like there probably are some people that are just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like, so I'm curious where Shonu lands, as my bias, I feel like I gotta know. So but anyway, let's get into Mohae. I'm excited to check this one out. Let's give it a listen.
나 이 노래 진짜 좋아해.
Shout out to my crew. It's good.
Oh yeah.
아무렇지 않은 척이라도 생각만큼 잘한데 그게 너라서.
Yeah.
알고 싶어 작은 버릇까지도 I just wanna know no matter what you do
All day 너라고 넘치듯이 말을 하고파.
배를 들자고 난 내게 취한 채 아픈 기억들은 다 흘러내릴게 Show me Show me Show me 너의 아름다운 아픔까지도
My baby Can't stop loving you. One, two, three.
오늘 밤 뭐해 지금 어디서 뭐해 네가 필요해 정말 난
미칠 것 같아. I can't stop this, don't you know that? 넌 내게 널 놓아줘, baby.
오늘 밤 뭐해 지금 어디서 뭐해 난 네가 필요해 정말 난 미칠 것 같아
I can't stop this, don't you know that? 보여줄래, 너에게.
난 느낀 대로 가 그래 바로 내가 가 그래 손으로 봐 Make it pop I ain't make it pop 저리 좀 pick it but I'm trying to 제발 숨기지마 또는 부끄러워 마 내가 준비된 나 이제 그냥 다 take 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 take
Take off like a birthday cake. Ay, Earth day, no. Fake, baby. Like that, you, like back. We have no time, just play today.
Show me 너의 아름다운 아픔까지도
My baby Can't stop loving you.
One, two,
one, two, three.
뭐해 지금 어디서 뭐해 네가 필요해
정말 난 미칠 것 같아. I can't stop this, don't you know that? 넌 내게 널 놓아줘, baby.
오늘 밤 뭐해 지금 어디서 뭐해 네가 필요해 정말 난 미칠 것 같아
I can't stop this, don't you know that? 널 보여줄래, 너에게.
Don't you I'll be on your way.
Just wanna be with you Just wanna be with you 이제부터보다 다른 게 더 필요해 돌아서 날 보면 돼넌 그렇게 내게 오면 돼
Nice bridge section.
원하는 걸 말해. 나는 너를 원해. 더 이상 I can't let you go.
너 오늘 밤 뭐해 지금 어디서 뭐해 네가 필요해
Okay.
미칠 것 같아. I can't stop this, don't you know that?
더 크게
너 오늘 밤 뭐해? 지금 어디서 뭐해? 난 네가 필요해. 정말 난 미칠 것 같아. I can't stop this, don't you know that? 널 보여줄래, 너에게.
All right, this was very cool. This was Monsta X's Mohae. If you're hanging out, thanks for chilling. I feel like I gotta. Connie says this is a clear example of what I said. What I was saying. Very nice song, but the lyrics are a little toxic. IMO. I feel like I had to look it up because I wanted to see. I wanted to see what they meant. Let me see if I can find something really abstract. Oh my god. Okay. I could see it. I feel like it's a little risque. You know what I mean? You know, I reading some of the lyrics off again. I don't know if the translation could be slightly mixed, but I could be a little messy. Translation could be a little bit off, but I see it. I see it. Biscuit says they do desperate yearning men very well. I was gonna say, I was reading some of the lyrics. I was like, damn. For like an idol, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you'd have a lot more riz. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just like it's just like, man, I feel like they got more game than that, I would argue, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. But the song itself was great. I think this was really catchy. I really like the instrumental of the song. I think that obviously was a driving force in this song. But I think just the melody choice was just so good. Like, it's got a great hook, it's got a great like beat, and I feel like those two things when they coalesce, I think is just, it really kind of sticks in your head. So I really love that. Biscuit says that I have also heard another song from IM, which is You Are. I do remember that one, and I remember that it was also very solid, but I feel like this one to me stood out a little bit more. I just think the hook immediately was just so good. Like, and I was already like kind of like humming the melody along in my head, and I was just like, okay, that's probably a telltale sign that it's like a good song when you're already like humming along the vibes of the song. So I love that. I feel like for me, Kihyun was the one who stood out the most. Like, his vocals really cut through this song so well. I don't know if maybe it was just kind of a live performance or whatever, but his vocals are so good in this song. And I really feel like he obviously took the bull by the horns, certainly, and really ran with the song, I think, vocally. So I really like that a lot. I also really liked IM's verse. I thought he did a great job on the rapping side of things. I feel like obviously with it being one of his songs, I feel like he had to cook, so I really like that a lot. But yeah, those two I think were the most standout. Like I said, and that's no disrespect to any of the other members. I think they did a great job as well, but I feel like to me those were the ones that, like, if I'm thinking about the song and thinking about like the whole perspective of everything, that's what I'm thinking. So very, very, very cool. I definitely like this a lot. And Biscuit answered my comment from earlier about like if Shonu likes the dance or not. They said, I think it depends on what it is. I think Shonu is used to it. I feel like you do, but I also feel like at the same point, like, obviously you're in the spotlight and you can't be hating, you know what I mean? Obviously got you to the place that you're at, so I feel like there's probably some admiration for the song, but also at the same point it's just like, damn, how many more times am I gonna have to do it? But is what it is. But yeah, I knew what Connie was getting at before, but now I know 100%. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I get it. As a guy, I understand. I'm not on that level though, so, but I vision it. So very nice, very nice. We will keep it moving. The next one we have is Alligator. This says the title of the third album, Take Two, We Are Here. The title comes from the idea of being dragged into an emotional swamp of a toxic relationship. Ooh, okay. Biscuit says they're too silly IRL. That makes sense though too. We'll have to check out some variety content, or if you have a good variety video I should watch, Biscuit put it in the Discord. I'll give it a watch. So very nice, very nice. We are moving into Alligator next then.
딱히 이유가 없는데 그때 그게 더 위험해 자꾸 내 호기심을 자극해 like 눈빛이 교환해 뭐 일단 그거는 충분해 모든 건 때가 다가왔을 때 like falling down 우리 아득한 저 끝에서 점점 빠져 빙굴게 되니까 날 나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 너는 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 모든 게 난 물속에 잠긴 것처럼 헤어날 수 없이 벌써 빠져버린 느낌 날 나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 너는 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 이 모든 게 내 뜻대로 다 이루어져 잡혀오면 절대 놓지 않아 Alligator 점점 빠져 빙굴게 될 테니까 날 나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 너는 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 모든 게 다 물속에 잠긴 것처럼 헤어날 수 없이 벌써 빠져버린 느낌 날 나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 너는 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 이 모든 게 내 뜻대로 다 이루어져 작전은 절대 놓지 않아 Alligator Alligator Alligator
날 알아봐라 이게 나라
처음이나마 우리나라
바람 따라 왔다 갔다
하지 않아 그게 나라
Oh, I like that call and response. That's sick.
나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 모든 게 다 물속에 잠긴 것처럼 헤어날 수 없이 벌써 빠져버린 느낌 나의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 날 너의 늪으로 나 끌어당겨 이 모든 게 내 뜻대로 다 이루어져 작전은 절대 놓지 않아 Alligator 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 Baby 네 마음과 나 나에게만 Alligator Alligator yeah yeah Alligator Alligator Baby 네 마음과 나 나에게만 Alligator
All right, very nice. This was Monsta X Alligator. Wow, this one was also really fun. I feel like they really haven't had one that I've missed that I'm like, I'm not really feeling this one. I think this was so much fun. I like the obviously the dynamics of the song. I think they did an excellent job of just making it seem very full, and I think they padded it out with really great like ensemble vocals. Like it was something that I noticed. I feel like they do a lot in their discography, but I think it's well needed. Like they're all very talented vocally, and I think when you have that little bit of ensemble vocal, it just adds to that extra dimension of the track. I was very unsure of how they were gonna make Alligator catchy, but I think they did a pretty damn good job of making it sound good. In my opinion, I feel like that's such a hard song to like. I feel like it would be such a hard thing to make it feel rhythmic or feel like, obviously very like musical. So I think they did a pretty good job of making it feel that direction. I feel like this song to me, the people who stole the show were both IM and Jehuni. I feel like this song is just so much fun, and there's just like a lot of dynamic energy that I feel like Jehuni brings. Whatever song he is in, I feel like he's always at 110%, and I feel like he does not give less than 110%. And I feel like this song also very similarly, I feel like he does such a great job. And I think if anything, I would argue it also fills the tank of IM as well, because I feel like he also gives 110% as well. So it was really cool to see like the energy reciprocation in the song. I think it was most apparent, I would say, in the bridge. I thought the bridge was most certainly my favorite part of the song leading into that final chorus. I think that back and forth between Jehuni and IM was just so good. It felt like the most, like it really kind of coalesced to a really fun ending of the song, and then really hitting him with the Kiyun, just like power vocals at the end, I think was incredible. So I think dynamically they obviously knew what they were doing and did it in a fantastic fashion. But I also really like I also really enjoyed a lot of the other vocals, like obviously Shonu's vocals I really appreciate in this song. I also really liked Wonho's vocals in the song as well. I was kind of, I feel like I've been pointing out his musical taste in this song as well too, so it was cool to hear him delve out a little bit more. But yeah, overall I thought this one was definitely one that on paper, in terms of the name of the song, I wasn't sure where this one was gonna sit, but like to say that I would definitely consider this to be a very solid song. Like it's definitely, I don't think there's been a bad song tonight, at least in my opinion, and I've enjoyed all of them. So this was another one to add to the fun list. So Biscuit says, fun fact about the rap line, they said that they flip a coin to decide who raps when. I'm not sure when that started. Wow. Okay. I feel like that makes sense. Like, I feel like they have the type of camaraderie where they could do that. So that's cool. If that is the case, I don't know if that could be confirmed or denied, but I feel like that I would like to think that that is the truth. That would be cool. I'd like to rest on those morals and know that that is a possibility. So very nice. Well, we're going to keep it moving here. The next one we have is, it looks like it's Breathe For You. This is a song that is actually slated to be a title track and was originally darker, but decided to instead make it bright and use it as an OST for the show Puppy Day, where they, yes, play with puppies. The show is in collaboration with one of their merch lines. They do a lot of these self-cam MVs, especially in the past. This one is one of my favorites of those. Ooh, okay. And a softer song again. Very nice. And Biscuit says, I am talked about it on a show. That's cool, though. I like that. So that it is truth. So, very nice. Well, let's get into Breathe For You then.
드넓은 바다 숨죽인 공기 눈부신 sunset 투명한 눈빛 펼쳐진 ocean 조금 더 깊이 들어와 날 너로서 날 숨쉬게 한 Kiss it was so beautiful 너를 마주한 순간 마치 Magic it was so beautiful 스며들 듯 마법 같은 순간 더 다가와줘 내 세상은 너로 가득해 너를 채워줘 전부 너로 벅차오르게 모든 걸 멈춘 미려한 눈빛 내게서 처음 본 뷰 끝까지 차오른 순간 마지막에 you 무거운 공기 저 가벼운 공기 무거운 고민 그게 필요 없게 만든 내게 난 going non-stop 반해버린 girl 어떡하면 좋아 falling in love 또 멈춰진
Interesting use of the auto tune.
또 다시 recycle 새로운 day 모든 게 바뀌어 내 입맞춤에 다시 또 날 새롭게 날 숨쉬게 해 느낄 수 있어 네가 주는 유일한 감각 나를 깨워줘 단 한 사람 you 이 순간을 놓지 못해 yeah. 너는 더 빛나기에 yeah. 어두운 밤을 밝히고 진흙 속에 묻힌 날 꺼내줄래 yeah. 숨이 멎을 것 같이 너로 가득한 세상은 너무나 깊어 내 안에 널 간직하고 영원토록 하나가 되고 싶어 I breathe in, I breathe out 내 마지막 I breathe in, I breathe out 네가 돼줘 다시 없은 나의 사랑이 살아갈 이유
Ooh, nice. Aw. We are not on to that one yet. Okay. I'm going to go back real quick. All right. Very nice. This was Breathe for You. Very cool. Very cool. I like this one. Like, I feel like it's inoffensive. Which, I mean, I feel like realistically all of their songs are not really inoffensive. But I feel like this one is just really solid. Like, I think this stands on a lot of the totems of a good song. I feel like the melody choice was great. I think a lot of the ensemble vocals I think were incredible in this song. Obviously, just adding another like layer to the song. I think they did stuff that I haven't heard that they have done so far in Monsta X songs. Like obviously Jahuni having like some auto tune on his vocals. I didn't think it was a negative. I definitely feel like it was used more so in a tasteful way. As more of like a textural element to just kind of break up the song a little bit more. But I thought this was very solid. Like I said, I don't have any like major groundbreaking comments to give about the song. But I thought vocally this was very nice. I also love that Shonu is dad core, and I'm so for that because I mean, as a bias of his, I feel like I am a little dad core here, so would make sense. So but yeah, I like this a lot. I think like I said, the hook on the song was really good too. But yeah, it isn't like doing anything astronomical that I would expect them to do, but I do feel like it plays within a lot of their strengths. And I thought the video was also really cute as well. Like they were just having a good time, just messing around a little bit, and you love to see when, you know, obviously members are feeling good and feeling happy. So you love to see it. So Biscuit says Shonu's awkward dad energy is here, and is amazing. I agree. Connie says I love it. Sandra says cute, chaotic, and a great beat. I would agree. Biscuit says I'm not always a big fan of autotune, but I love how MX usually does it for texture. Ooh, nice. And Kaylee says I like that one. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we're moving into the final two. The next one we are listening to, as I previously just said earlier, or shown on the screen, it was "Who Do You Love?" This is a pre-release single as a single, excuse me, and the title of their first English album, All About Love. Who Do You Love is another of their most famous songs, not their first English song, though. This was released about a month before Breathe for You, but try to keep the English songs last just in case of blocking. Thank you, Biscuit. All seven, including Wano, have credits on the song who left at the time the album came out. The album unexpectedly did very well, ranked number 5 on the US Billboard's 200 and 7 on the Rolling Stones top 200, which the members have talked about how shocked they are. Ooh, okay. Sonja says, what year is this? I think Biscuit would probably know that. And Biscuit says the English title tracks. Okay, fair enough. Biscuit I didn't do many English ones because of blocking. Jess says Monsta X have the best English tracks in K-pop. Ooh, okay, and this happened in 2020. Thank you, Biscuit. I did have a question about Wonho real quick. Is he like stupid buff now? Is Wonho like just jacked out the gills? I feel like Wonho, I'm 99.9% positive he is my birthday. Yeah, I was gonna say we're the birthday buds. Yeah, we are literally the same age, which is scary. We're the same age. And he looks like that, and I obviously look the way I do. So that's wild. Yeah, buff man. For real, on God. So Sarah says that we've talked about this before. He's buff and he has your birthday. Whoa. Excuse me, Sarah. We share a birthday, even though I feel like, you know, he got the better end of this deal here. So, built like a golem. Yeah. He really is. My man is a steel Pokemon. But anyway, Connie says he is coming to Chile. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to go see him. Go check it out. Kaylee says he's Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna check out Who Do You Love. Maybe it might be Wano. I don't know. It could be. So let's check it out. This is Who Do You Love featuring French Montana from Monsta X. Very interesting. Let's see. Connie did follow up and said Chile has the best crowds for concerts. I'm not saying that because I'm Chilean. So many artists have said that before. Very nice. I hope to visit Chile someday. That would be sick. Connie says love this song. I don't like French Montana, but yeah, cool collab. Biscuit says I'll write on him after the song. Oh boy. Kaylee says certain visuals in this MV kept giving me flashbacks to other MVs. The telephone booth, if only one, and the red chair from SF9, the theater for Ace. I love it. Gungi says I fell asleep. At least I woke up before the end. I respect that, Gungi. Kaylee says my multi-stand brain can't keep up with myself. I respect that. Very interesting. Very nice. I think for me, first of all, I want to know how Monsta X and French Montana wind up being collaborative people on this song. I'm so interested. But I don't know. I think the song itself was very good. I like it. I'm pretty sure Jihuni is doing like the Michael Jackson-esque like vocals, like kind of doing those like runs and stuff. I was again very surprised, but I think it worked out really well. And I liked his vocal tone as well. I was genuinely a little bit shocked, but I think it was very, very good. He's got a really unique vocal tone, so I will now keep that back in the ethos of my mind here. I think the French Montana feature was solid. Like I said, I don't listen to French Montana, and that's not because I don't like French Montana. I just don't. I'm just apathetic. I don't really have a care about French Montana either way. I thought his flow was good. The lyrics were a little interesting. Like I said, I'm not gonna be dogging him over it, certainly, but I think for me it was just kind of all right. I think the song itself really kind of shows off like more of their like vocals in in an ensemble faction. I think this song kind of has more of a subdued sort of tonality to it, and I think that plays into like more of that like R&B kind of slower pop type song. And I think they did a really great job of it. I also got to give a shout out to all of them. Their English is very good, and I think the lyrics didn't sound like. I feel like sometimes with English songs they can kind of be hit or miss, and I feel like this one just like worked out really well. Like I could tell exactly what they're going for and like the type of vibe, and like I didn't feel like I went off trail at all with that. So I got to give them a lot of props for that because it does really kind of give that sort of like beautiful tonality to it. So I like that. I really enjoyed Shonu's section as well. I also thought that Kian did a fantastic job as well. I feel like he again just crushed it. I feel like he's always had like some really good vocal tone, and I feel like this one is obviously no exception to that. But yeah, overall I thought this was very good. Like I think they obviously do very well with the English stuff, but it didn't feel like they skipped a beat at all. So yeah, this was a vibe. I like this. Biscuit says, so personally, I think FM's tone and flow is nice for the song, but his lyrics are The fandom hates him because he showed up drunk or high to their performance together and couldn't get through his part. Oh my god. Yeah, well, as someone who has been in alternative music for quite a while, I've seen that a bunch. So unfortunately that comes with the live performance aspect of things sometimes. Biscuit said same company for US promotion. Okay, fair enough. Biscuit says their English tracks are great. And Connie says Monsta X's English songs are the best in K-pop IMO. I know also Jazz said that as well. So that is also interesting. Biscuit says it was also around the time that Kian broke a rib and they had to do multiple takes, so people were extra heated because they wondered if they made the injury worse. Oof. Well, hopefully he's doing better now. It seems like, I would imagine he is. He seems well recovered, so I'm glad he made a full turnaround. So very nice, very nice. We are moving into the final song of part 1, and this is You Problem. Going out of order again and skipping ahead in case of blocking, You Problem is the title of their second English album, The Dreaming. So you can listen to your album. Oh, nice. Awesome. And it was released in 2021. This was also a pre-release called, there was also a pre-release called One Day. Shonu is on the album, but was enlisted at the time they filmed. And Wano, of course, is not there. This is a performance version from their movie. Oh, wow. They had a movie. That's fucking incredible. I love Mike choreo and stages of this are always very cute and fun, and the upbeat way to end the first part. Very nice, very nice. All right, well, let's get into the next one just real quick. Biscuit says, oh yeah, he did an entire concert with a broken rib. Oh, that, first of all, kudos, but also probably shouldn't be done. just saying. So and then Biscuit says out of order in case it gets blocked too. I appreciate that. And Connie says, I love the song so much. All right, well, let's get into You Problem.
I need to shake myself up from loving you. But tell me, what do I do? When you call me on a Friday night, but you never come through. Never come true. All these cheers, burn like $1 million bills. Got us naked on the floor, like you've never seen before. And was closer than you think you can taste it if you drink, but you don't. No, you don't. But that's a you problem. You know it's on my hands, and I don't need to solve them. 'Cause you've been making plans about us. Simple, get lost in the romance and just dance. Oh, let's just dance, alright. That's a you problem. I told you I'm your man. I'm only here for your love. I don't need no plan about us. Simple, get lost in the romance and just dance. Baby, let's just dance.
Let's go. Hey.
You need to shake yourself down, 'cause I know that you've been missing me. And every time you say please, I'm a boy on your knees. Hey, come on. All these cheers, burn like $1 million bills. Got us naked on the floor, like you've never seen before. And it's closer than you think you can taste it if you drink, but you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Hey.
But that's a you problem. No, it's on my hand, and I don't mean to solve them. You should be making plans about us. It's simple, get lost in the romance and just dance. Baby, let's just dance, alright. That's a you problem. Told you I'm your man. I'm only here for your love.
No, Santa, thanks for hanging. Hope you're doing all right.
Simple, get lost in the romance and just dance. Baby, let's just dance. You problem, baby, dance. You problem. Whoa, you problem, baby, dance. You problem. You problem, baby, dance. You problem. You problem, baby, dance. You but that's a you problem. Always on my hands, and I don't mean to solve them.
Hey, that rasp for Jehudi. Nice.
Simple, get lost in the romance and just dance. Let's just dance. You problem, baby, dance. You problem. Hey. Baby, dance. You problem.
Nice. I also noticed that they had all of their albums, like their like vinyl albums on the back. That's cool. All right, very nice. This was Monsta X, "You Problem" from their Dreaming movie. Very cool. Very cool. Um, Something I noticed that I didn't notice on the first one, maybe it's just, again, I just was overlooking it, but I noticed that I Am as well as Jihuni well, I knew Jihuni was singing, but I didn't know I Am was singing. And I feel like maybe Biscuit can clarify me if I'm correct or not, but are they just doing singing in English? Like, they don't do any rapping, I imagine, in English from what I could gather so far. So that's very unique. I think that's such an interesting thing, because obviously, like, if you know them from like their like K-pop stuff in terms of like non-English, right? Like they're rapping and stuff like that, and obviously they're very accomplished in that aspect. But then like you listen to this song or like Who Do You Love, and obviously they're doing singing, which is like just a mind fuck a little bit. So I thought that was interesting. I like that. That's cool. I appreciate that a ton. I feel like that shows range, and I gotta give a shout out to both Jihuni and I Am as well. They're incredible. They're killing it. But wow, this song is really fucking catchy. I'll tell you what. Like, I didn't think it was like I didn't think the hook on the song was like on point, but like by the time I was at the end in that final chorus, I was just like, I was like mouthing along or like mentally just kind of like singing along to that part, and I was just like, damn, I'm like, they really got me, huh? So I think the catchiness of like their English stuff is really impressive. And again, if I had just found out about Monsta X through their English material, I feel like I would be so shocked to listen to their, like, obviously their normal Korean stuff music. I just think it's so impressive to me. So in that capacity, I feel like that's a huge win. I think vocally this was also really good as well. I really enjoyed I enjoyed a lot of the members. I feel like, again, Jihuni's got a standout mostly because his vocals are like his singing vocals are so different from his like rapping tone, but I feel like he does pull a little bit of that rasp in from his rapping tone into his singing. So I really like that. I did notice that in the previous song as well too. So it was really cool. But yeah, also really well put together. I think, like, obviously this gave an opportunity for like Hyungwon to show off a little bit more as well too. I really liked his vocals. I'm pretty sure Minhyuk's still in the group for what I could gather, so I feel like his vocals were also really cool too. But Kihyun, I feel like Kihyun's doing Kihyun things, so really appreciate that a lot too. I think I thought it was really good. Again, overall, I feel like the English stuff I'll have to give more of a listen to. I will actually have to listen to the album now, Biscuit, now that I've it's been unlocked for me, so now I can listen to it. But yeah, overall, I thought this was fun. I definitely was vibing with this one for sure. So let's see what we got here, Biscuit. I am IMing. I agree, for real. Kaylee says I love that one too. Biscuit says yes, singing in the English albums, they do a lot more in later albums. Ooh, okay, very nice. Biscuit says I Am was really unconfident in the past, and now he sings a lot. Very cool, love to see it. And then to confirm that Shonu is on the song too, just was enlisted. Oh, okay. And Biscuit says I forgot, but Minhyuk and Hyungwon do a lot of the lower harmonies. I did notice that. In like some of the songs that we've heard more currently on this list. But it was cool to get the verification. So I really like that. Wow. All right. Favorites now. That's gonna be tough. I feel like I'm really, really, really stuck. I think out of the two English songs, I think I enjoyed You Problem just a little more. But Who Do You Love was also really good. I think if we were able to edit the song and take out French Montana, no diss to French Montana, I feel like maybe I would choose that one. But I think in terms of typical Monsta X songs, I feel like my favorites, in no particular order, I would say were Mohae, Jealousy, Beautiful. There was a oh, If Only. I feel like I forgot that one. That one was a cool, like soft Monsta X song, which I like. And I probably put Trespass as an honorable mention. I think those would be my top favorites. I don't know if I could, again, I don't know if I could put I don't know if I could put it all, but I feel like those were the ones that were ones that I looked at the playlist and were like had positive association to. So really like it. Gunky said so many choices. I agree. Biscuit says I think your favorite title might end up being on the next playlist, but not sure. Oh, okay, fair enough. Uni says Alligator and Newton are my top 2 for the night. Ooh, okay, cool. I did like Alligator. I was surprised. I feel like the shock value on that one, I was a little was a vibe. Sarah says the Monsta X one was my fuck. I hate to break it to you, Sarah, but all of them are Monsta X songs. I know. Real shock value here. Connie says Beautiful and Jealousy are my faves. Ooh, okay. We've got some shared faves, Connie. I like it. I like that. Kaylee says relatable. Yes. I'm not gonna disagree with Sarah. I would like to preface. So Sarah says, huh? No way, that means they were all Listen, I'm not gonna argue with you because I'm pretty sure you have a higher degree than I do. So it's my words mean nothing. So, Biscuit says Jealousy is my favorite, but also same. That's fair. If we're gonna argue, we're going to Waffle House. Listen, you already have a date with Gunky to fight it out. So, so so just says I'll second Beautiful and then second English the second English song. Okay, that was second English song was You Problem. So we're on the same. Gunky says, hey, don't bring the Waffle House into this. Hey, listen. Yeah, it's a you problem. Sorry, that was just terrible. Oh, sorry, I've corrupted our secret battlefield. That's I was gonna say. You will dine and do battle there. So Sandra says you problem. Can't wait for part 2. I agree. Part 2 is gonna be rad. Big salutes to Biscuit for putting this together. Very stoked for part 2. We've got quite the extensive playlist for part 2 as well. So we will be cooking. No pun intended. So thanks again, Biscuit. Stoked we were able to do Monsta X. I saw Dang post in the Discord saying that it's been forever. Why haven't we done Monsta X yet? And this is the exact reason why we haven't done Monsta X yet. So salutes to you, Biscuit. Appreciate it. Very excited for part dose on Wednesday. So if you're coming to hang out, come hang out Wednesday. If you're watching this on Twitch. So we will see y'all on the next one. So I'm very stoked, but have a good time zone and see y'all on Wednesday. Peace, y'all.